Chapter 758. Lin Xian already knew that this Gong Sun Jun wasn't a good person, but he didn't expect him to be so disgusting. Let his own people do things for him. And he went to do his girlfriend. That Ji Chong seemed to have been holding it in before, but now he burst out crying. It seemed that he really did like his girlfriend. Brother Xian, you see. Lu Jingyi looked at Lin Xian with uncertainty. I can't do anything about the matter between him and his girlfriend, but what I can do is to settle the grudge between him and Gong Sun Jun. This was just a matter of convenience, because there was hatred between Lin Xian and Gong Sun Jun. This hatred wasn't on the surface, but it was true that he sent people to kill him. Of course, Lin Xian wasn't sure if he was involved, or if it was just his father. However, this Gong Sun Jun had repeatedly tried to provoke or find ways to humiliate him. Lin Xian didn't know when he had provoked him. Xiao Xingyue? No, before that Lin Xian was only with Xiao Xingyue in the sacred dragon flame cave. If it was this, then his heart was unimaginably small. But he must have known that the White Tiger Hall wanted to kill him. Maybe Lin Xian had his own selfish motives. Or maybe he was helping others. No, helping others was all fake. Lin Xian was just doing it in passing. Selfishness was probably more important, and he admitted it. Lin Xian naturally couldn't kill him. Before Lin Xian had enough evidence to prove that Gong Sun Jun wanted to kill him, he wouldn't. At most, he would announce Gong Sun Jun's character or actions to the public. Originally, other than Brother Xian himself, no one else could get involved in the matter between their boyfriend and girlfriend. But for Brother Xian to have this kind of heart, I really thank you on his behalf. Chang Zi and I aren't brothers, but we've known each other for several years. He's actually not a bad person. I know very well that Brother Xian can help. Lin Xian shook his head. No need to thank me. I also have my own selfish motives. Brother Xian and that Gong Sun Jun don't get along, right? Lu Jingyi asked. You will know in the future. What you need to do now is very clear. As long as your friend is willing to tell you these things, it will be fine. That's not difficult. Lin Xian shook his head. Very difficult. Lu Jingyi looked at Ji Chong, whose voice was hoarse from crying, and then looked at Lin Xian in confusion. Why? Firstly, his testimony alone is useless. Secondly, there is no evidence. Thirdly, he might not be willing to testify. Lin Xian then explained to him. Yes, he does hate Gong Sun Jun, but what if he doesn't dare? This? Hearing Lin Xian's words, Lu Jingyi also understood. The Gong Sun family was a large and powerful family. As for him, he was only a martial artist with a decent level. He didn't have much of a background. Testifying against Gong Sun Jun and the Gong Sun family was the same as completely offending them. Although on the surface everyone knew that they couldn't kill people, or else the trial union would put them on trial, everyone also knew that as long as no one saw it, they could kill as many people as they wanted. Then what should we do? Lin Xian rubbed his chin. This Ji Chong was very useful to him. But if word got out, he would be in danger. Lin Xian was sure of this. He couldn't get over it, unless his safety was guaranteed. How's Ji Chong's family? Lin Xian asked. Chang Zi's family died at the hands of demon beasts when he was young. He and his girlfriend have known each other since they were young, so they have a very good relationship. That Gong Sun Jun obviously used a forceful method. Because Chang Zi's strength is decent, Chang Zi and his girlfriend basically take on some mercenary group missions to earn money. Then he continued. In fact, although Gong Sun Jun planned the scene of a hero saving a damsel in distress, and they were only helpers for money, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Lin Xian nodded. Indeed, there was nothing wrong with it. This was a hero saving a damsel in distress after all. If you fell in love with a girl and tried to woo her but failed, you would use a special method for the sake of money. It wasn't like you were trying to kill her or make her faint. Perhaps Gong Sun Jun's intentions behind the scenes weren't pure. And as his helpers, all they did was make an insignificant disappearance. That was why this Ji Qiangren seemed to be a good person. Then Lin Xian had a way. Wake him up, Lin Xian said. Okay. Then Lu Jingyi walked over to support Ji Chong, and the spirit energy in his body surged into his body, helping him get rid of the alcohol. Once the alcohol was gone, Ji Chong stopped crying and sat there in a daze. What's wrong with me? He wiped his tears and looked at Lu Jingyi and Lin Xian suspiciously. Changzi, you were drunk just now. F*ck, I'm F*king drunk. Ji Chong spat out a mouthful of saliva, then looked at Lin Xian. This is? Lin Xian walked over and stretched out his hand. Lin Xian? Lin Xian? You're Lin Xian, the younger brother of the Yixian Group's chairman? The one from St. Brilliant Academy? Ji Chong froze for a moment. The chairman of the Yixian Group was indeed Lin Ye, but Lin Xian held the highest shares. Lin Xian nodded. Hello. Ji Chong reached out and shook Lin Xian's hand. Did something happen between us? I feel like you're looking for me. Ji Chong looked at Lin Xian and asked. Lin Xian said, you were drunk just now, and Lu Jingyi and I heard a lot of things. What did I say? Ji Chong frowned. Gong Sun Jun directed a hero saving a damsel in distress script and saved Xiao Xinyue. So he pursued her. And you were one of his helpers. Ji Chong frowned. No, I was just talking nonsense. Ji Chong was afraid of leaking it out and angering Gong Sun Jun Xiangzi. Lu Jingyi shouted. Brother Xian is one of us. Brother Xian is one of us. You can believe him. Even if you don't believe him, can you believe me? Brother Xian is my big brother. I know him. I also believe him. He also has a grudge with Gong Sun Jun. Don't you want revenge? Me? Revenge for what? Stop messing around. Ji Chong pretended as if nothing had happened and smiled. You said that Lingling was defiled by Gong Sun Jun when you were drunk. Lu Jingyi said. Ka. Hearing this, Ji Chong couldn't help but clench his fists, blue veins popping out. Lin Xian walked over at this time, patted him on the shoulder and said, I know what you're afraid of. You're afraid that you'll be in danger and be killed by the Gong Sun family. Maybe you're more afraid of your girlfriend being in danger, right? Ji Chong looked up at Lin Xian. You can choose to believe me. After this, you and your girlfriend don't have to do dangerous mercenary missions anymore. I'll take you to the Art Pavilion Group to arrange work for you. As for the reward, it'll definitely be more than mercenary missions. You can rest assured about this. You don't understand money? Is money more important than life? What do I need money for? I can't even protect myself and Lingling. What do I need money for? Ji Chong roared. Money is just a guarantee. At the same time, I can guarantee the safety of you and your girlfriend. Ji Chong looked at Lin Xian. Chapter 759. Lin Xian said, when the time comes, I will give you a spiritual weapon that can protect you. It will allow you and your girlfriend to leave the dangerous area and go to a safe place with the power of space. This will ensure your safety. Really? Ji Chong looked at Lin Xian expectantly. What he was most afraid of was his and his girlfriend's safety. Although his girlfriend had been defiled by Gong Sun Jun, it wasn't out of her own will. She was also forced. He really loved her. He couldn't accept his girlfriend taking the initiative, but she was forced. He really felt that it didn't matter, as long as they could be good. Lin Xian nodded. No words are no guarantee. Ji Chong then shook his head. He was not familiar with Lin Xian. He did not trust Lin Xian. What if he just wanted to achieve his own goal, and then leave him alone? This was a normal mentality. Lin Xian expressed his understanding. Lin Xian smiled and said, that's simple. You just drank and didn't eat, right? I'll treat you. Let's have a meal together. We can talk slowly at the table. I'll help you get the things that can protect your and your girlfriend's lives. I'll give it to you on the spot. Is that okay? Ji Chong looked at Lin Xian. He did not want to punish Gong Sun Jun. He wanted to kill him so badly, but he couldn't do it. However, if Lin Xian could do it, he would rather give up everything. He would rather kneel down and kowtow to Lin Xian. However, he could not guarantee that his and his girlfriend's lives would be saved. Therefore, he still needed Lin Xian's promise. Good. If it's really possible, I will kowtow to you. I will apologize to you. Ji Chong said excitedly. Lin Xian smiled and said, let's go, I will lead the way. Then Lin Xian took them to a hotel near Linglong Shue's home and ordered a private room. While the dishes were being served, Lin Xian went to Linglong Shue's place. Justice, can young Master Lin really be trusted? Ji Chang still asked Lu Jingyi worriedly. How can I not trust the person that I, Lu Jingyi, have taken a fancy to? Older brother Xian is the only person who can help you take revenge without taking anything from you. Because he has the same goal as you. He also wants to ruin Gong Sunjun's reputation. Alright, let me tell you. Then, Lu Jingyi whispered to Ji Chang. Older brother Xian wants to give Gong Sunjun a green hat. Ji Chang's mouth. You must have heard of older brother Xian's battle achievements. He managed to catch Ling Ying in 3 days, and he can even hug her left and right. If older brother Xian wants to make a move on Xiao Xinyue definitely won't be able to hold on. When that time comes, older brother Xian will definitely make a move on Gong Sunjun. Wouldn't that mean? Ji Chang clenched his fists. He was looking forward to that day. Extreme anticipation. He was even willing to die in exchange for this day. But the only thing he was worried about was his girlfriend. He was afraid that something would happen to her. If I can protect Lingling's safety, even if I have to die, I will definitely help brother Xian. He is my Ji's. Ji Chang clenched his fists and said firmly. On the other side, Lin Xian arrived at Ling Longshue's home. Ling Longshue was pregnant for only a month. Other girls who were pregnant for a month could jump around, but it was mainly because she was too nervous that she didn't even dare to eat anything. Although she knew that it wouldn't matter even if she ate anything, she was afraid that it would affect the child. It wouldn't be good if the child wasn't beautiful. However, that shouldn't be the case. Her genes were right there. Although Lin Xian's genes weren't extremely handsome, they weren't too bad either. Ling Longyu also accepted this fact. She was just unhappy, but beating up Lin Xian that day was enough to vent her anger. She felt even more wronged. She didn't know why she felt wronged, and the other was that she felt unreconciled for her sister. Hello, Arabati, the man you love the most is back. Lin Xian teleported into the house. The 3 of them sat on the sofa eating snacks and watching TV. Then, they all looked at Lin Xian. These 3 beauties, big and small, were truly a beautiful scene in the world. Too beautiful. What are you doing here? You're not welcome. Ling Longyu pouted and threw the apple in her hand at Lin Xian. Lin Xian easily caught it. Tisk, I'm not here to see you. I'm here to see Xiao Linglong and my son. Lin Xian then smiled and moved closer. Lin Xian smiled and made space for him. Then, Lin Xian sat there and hugged Ling Longshue. How's my son? Lin Xian reached out and touched her stomach. Basically, there was no bump for a month. Ling Longshue blushed. If it was just her and Lin Xian it would be fine. But with Ling Longyu and Bing Lingyue beside her, she couldn't let go. Then she slapped Lin Xian's hand away and said, he's fine. Lin Xian scratched his head. This girl was still arrogant and cold. Even if they confirmed their relationship in a short period of time, it would be difficult for Lin Xian and her to be as sweet as a normal couple. This was because she was not a girl with a sweet personality. Tisk, Ling Longyu pouted. Dragoni came out from Lin Xian's arms and flew into Ling Longyu's arms. It could be seen that Dragoni was very close to Ling Longyu. Dragoni, why don't you stay here for a while and accompany little you? Lin Xian said to Dragoni. But Dragoni quickly shook her head. No, Dragoni wants to follow Big Brother. Lin Xian laughed. You see, you have an endless supply of good food here. If you follow me, you'll be hiding in my arms every day. Don't you have so much freedom here? I'll come visit you often, don't worry. No. Even if I have to hide every day, Dragoni wants to follow Big Brother. Dragoni refused to listen to Lin Xian on this point. Lin Xian smiled helplessly. He was thinking for Dragoni's sake. Since she didn't want to, then forget it. How do you know it's a boy? What if it's a girl? Or do you only like sons and not daughters? Ling Longyu gave Lin Xian a glare as she handed the chips to Dragoni. Since it's already like this, even if she doesn't like it, she can only accept it. Ling Longshue also took another look at Lin Xian. Of course, she was more concerned about it. Does he have a preference for boys over girls? A girl is fine too, I like all of them. It's not a big deal, but I think a son would be better. Why? Bing Lingyue asked with interest. She looked at Lin Xian and asked. Because if it's a girl, my beautiful daughter will be ruined by other boys in the future. Just thinking about it pisses me off. The 3 girls. Isn't this guy thinking a bit too far ahead? Say, if it's a boy, how comfortable would it be to pick up other girls? Lin Xian grinned. Lecher. Ling Long Shui muttered. That's right, stinking pervert. Ling Long Yu nodded repeatedly. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. Forget it, I still have things to do. Chapter 760. Lin Xian truly felt that he was a scumbag. Xiao Linglong already had a baby, but he came here for another girl. He did not want this to happen, but he could not. It was a dilemma. Without the system, Lin Xian was nothing. But now that he had it, he did not want it. He felt terrible and had to accept it all. Be it pretentious or whatever, he could not make a choice. Do you think Lin Xian did not want to have the system and live with the girl who was related to him now? He wanted that too. Do you think he wanted to continue having the system to strengthen himself and at the same time have more beautiful girls? What a joke. Any man would want that. So he was conflicted. So conflicted that he did not want to think about it anymore. Well, Xiao Linglong, can you give me something like a spatial artifact that can save my life? Lin Xian asked Linglong Shui. He believed that she should have no problems after reaching the heavenly Dao realm. What a coward. Ever since Ling Longyue knew what Lin Xian did to her sister, she was especially resentful towards Lin Xian. Just like Lu Yufan in the past, she liked to diss Lin Xian. Lin Xian could say anything he wanted. Go away, little girl. Eat your food. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. Dragoni was beside him. She knew that Lin Xian didn't dislike Ling Longyue, so she didn't say who he would side with. She just wanted to eat her own food. Ling Longyue snorted. I say, be more respectful to me in the future. I'm your brother-in-law. Ling Longyue. Ling Long Shui. Go to hell. Ling Longyue threw a pillow at Lin Xian. Ling Long Shui thought for a moment. Then 2 talismans appeared in her hand. How many do you want? She asked. How many? Since Lin Xian had confirmed his relationship with Ling Long Shui, he was no longer as embarrassed as before. Right now there are only 5 of them. These are talismans that contain my spatial power. As long as you inject a little spiritual energy into them, they can be activated. At most, they can achieve a spatial jump of 10 kilometers. Lin Xian's eyes lit up, and he leaned over to take it. Thanks. It's nothing compared to you helping me advance to the heavenly Dao realm, she said softly. There's no need to be so formal. Well, I'm going to get busy first. You guys eat and drink well. Little Dragoni, you stay with the sisters first. When I'm done, I'll come and pick you up in the evening, okay? Oh, big brother, you must remember to come. Dragoni said obediently. Don't worry, my little fairy wants to hug you to sleep every day. Lin Xian smiled, then waved his hand and walked out. TSK, whose family with him? Ling Longyue then mumbled. Yes, Dragoni. Dragoni said sweetly. Okay. I know you're the closest to Lin Xian. Ling Longyue was very fond of Dragoni. She was too cute. As long as it was a girl, she would probably fall for her cuteness. On the other side, Lin Xian came to the hotel room. Lu Jingyi and Ji Chang quickly stood up. Sit, don't be so nervous. The dishes haven't been served yet? Lin Xian sat down. It'll probably take another 10 minutes. Only 2 cold dishes have been served. Lu Jingyi said. Lin Xian then took out the talisman and handed it to Ji Chang. Brother Xian, this is? This talisman contains the power of a spatial attribute expert. As long as you inject your spiritual energy into it, it can be activated. It will allow you to perform a spatial jump of 10 kilometers in the direction you want to go. When you encounter danger, I believe that if you can pull 10 kilometers away from the enemy, you should be fine, right? Lin Xian said. This. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Lu Jingyi and Ji Chang revealed a shocked expression. They had never heard of such a thing. At most, they knew that spirit weapons could be used, but talismans? There are a total of 5 here. You can try it. Lin Xian also gave him the remaining 4 because Lin Xian felt that if he helped him, he would also be helping himself. There was nothing to lose. Moreover, this Ji Chang was very loyal and righteous. He might even be able to receive a loyal subordinate in the Thunder Tribulation realm. This Lightning Tribulation realm was already very powerful. But it was also because of his age, 27 years old. Although many people at the age of 27 didn't have a lightning tribulation realm, it also depends on the person. It depends on whether he is willing to risk being killed in the demon beast domain to improve himself. No need. Ji Chang quickly shook his head. What's wrong? Lin Xian looked at him suspiciously. Ji Chang said, if such a precious thing is wasted and used to try, it would be a waste of heaven's gifts. I believe in Brother Xian. No, believing is believing, but you have to be responsible for yourself and your girlfriend. You have to try it. Lin Xian looked at him and said seriously. This? Ji Chang's hand that was holding the talisman trembled slightly. His eyes were red. That's right, he was moved. This Lin Xian was actually willing to let him waste one to try it out, in order to make him believe it. He really couldn't express what he was thinking. All right, then, Ji Chang stood up and bowed to Lin Xian. You should grasp the distance. There are still 10 minutes before the dishes are served. When you're done, just take a taxi and come over. You should be able to make it in time. I understand. Thank you, Brother Xian. Then Ji Chang nervously pinched the talisman. In the next moment, his figure disappeared from where he stood. Wow. So cool. Lu Jingyi couldn't help but curse. Then, he looked at Lin Xian. Hee, about that, Brother Xian, do you have any more? Lu Jingyi rubbed his hands. No, we'll talk about it in the future. When the time comes, I'll spend money to buy it. This thing is also incomparably powerful to protect one's life. Lin Xian nodded slightly. After about 15 minutes, the door of the private room was pushed open, and Ji Chang walked in excitedly. Plop! He then directly knelt in front of Lin Xian, causing Lin Xian to be stunned. It was said that men had gold under their knees. As an expert in the Thunder Tribulation realm, he was even willing to kneel before Lin Xian. Such a person was actually absolutely trustworthy in certain aspects. What are you doing? Get up. Brother Xian, thank you so much. From now on, my Ji Chang's life is yours. Ji Chang clenched his fists, his eyes red, and said firmly, why would I want your life? Lin Xian smiled helplessly, then helped him up. In Ji Chang's opinion, whether it was for his own sake or for his own purposes, as long as he could deal with Gong Sun Jun, he would be Ji Chang's benefactor. Because he didn't have the ability to deal with Gong Sun Jun, Lin Xian even used such a precious thing to protect his and his girlfriend's lives. Furthermore, Lin Xian was even willing to take the two of them in. Sit down, let's eat. Ji Chang nodded, then sat beside Lin Xian. Tell me about Gong Sun Jun and Xiao Xinyue. Chapter 761. Lin Xian's main goal was Xiao Xinyue. No matter what, she was Gong Sun Jun's girlfriend now. If Lin Xian couldn't do anything to her, then something was wrong. He had to make them break up first. Obviously, once Xiao Xinyue found out about this, they would definitely break up. As for Gong Sun Jun, Lin Xian wanted to deal with him, but before he made it clear that Gong Sun Jun wanted to kill him, he wouldn't kill him. At most, he would just ruin his reputation. Ji Chang drank the wine in one gulp and said, yes, it's like this. It's been about a month. At that time, Gong Sun Jun came looking for me and a few other people, a total of 5 people. We're all members of the Azura Palace's White Tiger Hall. We're all elite members of the White Tiger Hall, and we can be considered to have a relatively high status. After all, we're all at the same level. Continue. Lin Xian wanted to know how Xiao Xinyue's life was threatened when they couldn't even defeat her together. Ji Chang said, at that time, Gong Sun Jun said that he liked a girl, and we knew who she was. He asked us to help him play the role of a hero saving a damsel in distress, and help him chase after Xiao Xinyue. I thought that it wasn't a crime, and we wouldn't kill anyone or set anything on fire. He even promised to give us a sum of money, so we helped him. That Xiao Xinyue was stronger than you, right? Lin Xian asked. Yes, but Gong Sun Jun told us that he had a way to weaken Xiao Xinyue's strength, so much so that she wouldn't be able to detect it. Because we were worried about our safety, we specifically asked about it. It was probably Gong Sun Jun who found an opportunity to drug her food. This drug will only take effect after a cultivator releases their spirit energy. I don't know how much strength it can weaken. Afterwards, Xiao Xinyue just happened to go to the monster beast domain. And that bastard Gong Sunjun probably found out about it in advance and acted. When we met her, we pretended to be lustful and injured her in the battle. Her injuries were quite serious. This was also Gong Sunjun's request, otherwise it would be a bit fake. Lin Xian. It was really King deliberate. After that, Brother Xian, you should be able to guess that it was Gong Sunjun who appeared and saved her. After that, he seemed to have successfully chased after Xiao Xinyue. Do you have any evidence? Lin Xian asked. He understood the process, so of course he believed it. But was he going to tell Xiao Xinyue that? Xiao Xinyue might still be suspicious, but she might not believe him completely. She might even confront Gong Sunjun. And Gong Sunjun would obviously be able to avert the danger. At that time, it would be Lin Xian and the others who would be at a disadvantage. Therefore, he had to make sure that Xiao Xinyue would believe him after he told her. Then something would definitely happen. How can there be any evidence? I want to have one too. Ji Chong shook his head and said in annoyance. Suddenly Ji Chong thought of something. Oh right. He looked up at Lin Xian and said, I remember now. That Wang Wenxuan might have a recording. Recording? Lin Xian frowned. It's like this. Wang Wenxuan is a very cautious person. He thinks a lot before he does anything. I remember that when I went out with him in the past, he would always bring a recording pen with him to record things that were related to his interests. I asked him why he did that, and he said that it was a personal habit and that it might come in handy in the future. So I think he must have recorded it that day as well, although he didn't dare to use it against Gong Sunjun. This person is very cautious. Ji Chong said. Are you sure? I'm not sure, but if Brother Xian wants evidence, he might be the only one who has it. If there was a recording, then there was no need to say anything else. Can you call him? Lin Xian asked. Of course you can. I'm very familiar with him. I can casually ask him to come. Sorry to trouble you. No. Being unable to help Brother Xian is the most useless thing about me. After Ji Chong finished speaking, he made a phone call. There were witnesses, but sometimes witnesses were useless. Even if Lin Xian gathered all 5 of them and told Xiao Xinyue about this matter, she would still not forget her safety. She would still confront Gong Sunjun, and Gong Sunjun would still be able to come up with a million excuses to get rid of her. Therefore, there was a need for this recording. If there wasn't one, then they could only rely on Gong Sunjun and think of another way. After about half an hour, a handsome and tall man walked in. He looked a few years younger than Ji Chong, about 24 or 25 years old. In Lin Xian's opinion, compared to ordinary people, 24 or 25 Thunder Tribulation Realm cultivators were really powerful. This person must have fought a lot in the demonic beast domain. Brother Chong, young Master Lu. Wang Wenxuan walked in and greeted them. Then, he sat down and picked up his chopsticks. I say, aren't you guys too boring? Didn't you say you were going to treat me to a meal? King left my girlfriend on the street and came here. But you guys ate it yourselves? As he spoke, Wang Wenxuan added an abalone and stuffed it into his mouth. It could be seen that their relationship was really good. It might not be the ultimate kind of brotherhood, but it was definitely a good relationship. Didn't I leave all the hard dishes for you? If it's not enough, I'll order more. Lu Jingyi laughed. Young Master Lu is awesome. Why don't you lend me some money? 100,000. King borrowed money again. Ck. Don't mention it. My girlfriend bought 2 bags for 50,000. King wanna give her a slap. Wang Wenxuan said helplessly. At this time he noticed Lin Xian. This is. Lin Xian smiled and stretched out his hand. Lin Xian, please advise me. Ck. You can't be that Lin Xian from St. Brilliance Academy, right? Lin Xian nodded. Ck. Wang Wenxuan wiped his hands on his clothes and shook Lin Xian's hand. You're my idol. King threw money to get your girlfriend. Let's not talk about whether you threw money or not. That speed and the quality of your girlfriend are amazing. In his opinion, Lin Xian might not have thrown money to get Ling Ying, because Ling Ying's necklaces, bracelets, and the like Which one of them wasn't worth hundreds of thousands? That lady's watch of hers was worth less than 7 figures? Someone posted on the internet that she already had these before Lin Xian pursued her at St. Brilliant's Academy. So she was a proper fair, rich and beautiful lady. You threw money at her? Obviously, it was impossible. That was why Lin Xian was admired and worshipped by so many men. Lin Xian coughed dryly. It's a small matter. Lu Jingyi said. Wen Xuan, Lin Xian is Mayan Changzi's big brother. F***ck. That's my big brother too. Ha ha ha. Wang Wenxuan laughed. To have such a Casanova as a big brother, that's awesome. And he knew that this Lin Xian was definitely not simple. He and Ji Chang were ordinary, but Lin Xian had status. He recognized Lin Xian as his big brother, so he must be powerful. Chapter 762. Lin Xian felt that people like them were the best. All of them were sincere. At least when they got along with each other, they were good at small things. Wen Xian, Brother Xian invited you here for a matter. Ji Chang said to Wang Wenxian. Speak, Brother Xian. Don't call me Brother Xian. I'm not as old as you guys, so I'm embarrassed. Lin Xian scratched his head. Ha ha ha. Lu Jingyi laughed. Brother Xian, the meaning is different. You don't have to call someone older. In our eyes, the people we respect are called brothers. It's nothing. Ji Chang said on behalf of Lin Xian. Wen Xian, according to the money that Gong Sun Jun promised us, has it arrived? F***ck. Don't mention this. What the F***ck? Do you think 5 million is money to a person? That's just a small amount of money. F***ck. He won't even give it. F***ck. That's because he knows that you guys don't dare to say it out loud. Lin Xian said. Yeah, he has a big family and a big business. What are we? Our family is just a little bit rich. To put it bluntly, he can pinch us to death with a stretch of his hand. Who would dare to complain? F***ck. Wang Wenxian scolded. Ji Chang sighed and patted him on the shoulder. Alright, did you record it? Ji Chang asked. I did. Don't you know me? Although it's useless, I don't dare to ask for it. Hearing this, the eyes of everyone present lit up. There's a silver lining at the end of the tunnel. Lin Xian patted his shoulder and told Wang Wenxian what he wanted to say. So, I need your recording. What do you think? F***ck. What can I mean? Hearing Lin Xian's words, Wang Wenxian jumped up and took out a recording pen and slammed it on the table. F***ck. Of course I'm willing to vent my anger. Lin Xian didn't expect Wang Wenxian to be so awesome. Brother Xian, don't worry. This recording is very clear. From the beginning to the end, even his plan is very clear. When the time comes, he. Wang Wenxuan laughed sinisterly. Then, Lin Xian turned on the recording, and the few of them listened to it together. Lin Xian smirked. This recording was more than enough. Then, the only reason Gong Sun Jun could resist would be that the person in the recording wasn't him. It was just that the voice sounded similar. Someone was trying to frame him. But this was an era of technology. Voice matching. When the similarity reached a certain level, it would be really hard to explain. Plus, there was a witness. That was enough. Ji Chang's girlfriend could also serve as a very important witness. Although it would open her scars, Ji Chang didn't care. He wanted to expose Gong Sun Jun Qiangzi. Lin Xian said. Understood. Then, Ji Chang gave him 2 of the remaining 4 talismans. What is this? Wang Wenxuan took it in puzzlement. Lin Xian said. I'll give 1 each to you and your girlfriend. When in danger, inject spiritual energy into it. It can complete a space jump of up to 10 kilometers. Find me after you're done. Such talismans were very easy to make, especially when Linglong Shui had advanced to the heavenly Dao realm. All she needed to do was draw and inject her energy into it. It wasn't difficult to make. Wang Wenxuan revealed a shocked expression before putting it away. Then I hope the day will never come when I need to use it, Wang Wenxuan said. Lin Xian then said to Ji Chang. In the future, you can go to the art pavilion group with your girlfriend. When you're free, do what you want to do. I'll tell my sister about your salary. Thank you, Brother Xian. I'm really grateful. No, I'm the one thanking you. Lin Xian smiled. Then Brother Xian, can I go? Wang Wenxuan looked at Lin Xian with anticipation. Are you willing? As Ji Chong had lost his parents and relatives, he didn't have many thoughts. He was naturally willing to have a stable job with a salary that was even higher than his mercenary missions. However, Wang Wenxuan, of course I'm willing. I'm tired of messing around every day. It might even be dangerous in the future. I think it's pretty good to follow Brother Xian, Wang Wenxuan said with a smile. Lin Xian said, how about this? You'll be in charge of the Art Pavilion Group's security. In the future, I might set up a faction. When the time comes, you should be able to become the faction's elders. However, there's a prerequisite. You have to be capable. Don't forget to raise your strength when you're free. Holy *T. Brother Xian, you want to set up a faction? That's very difficult. Wang Wenxuan said. Perhaps it's not difficult for Brother Xian. Why don't you see how much influence and assets the Art Pavilion Group has? Lu Jingyi said. I don't know much about it, but of course I'm willing, Wang Wenxuan said with a smile. When you've thought about it, just go to the Art Pavilion Group. I'll let my sister know. F***CK. A few Thunder Tribulation Realm cultivators as security guards. That was really a lot of face. However, when they heard that Lin Xian was going to set up a faction in the future, the meaning was different. Let's not talk about the scale of development. At least the starting point was high. After that, they went their separate ways. Lin Xian held the recording pen and smiled. Then, he took out his phone and found Xiao Xinyue's friend. No. Lin Xian sent a message. On the other side, Xiao Xinyue and Xiao Runing were nestled on the sofa watching TV. They were mainly chatting. The relationship between the sisters was indeed very good. Although there were some things that they didn't want to say to each other, Xiao Runing would often find her to nag about other things. Now Xiao Runing was worried. Her family called her. If she didn't bring her boyfriend home this year, she wouldn't be able to go home for the new year, unless she was willing to go home for a blind date. Who would be able to stand that? So she came to complain to Xiao Xinyue. Then, she saw Xiao Xinyue's phone on the coffee table in front of her. The screen lit up, and it showed Lin Xian's message, including Lin Xian's name. Xiao Xinyue's contact name for Lin Xian was his name. However, the name Lin Xian was particularly noteworthy in Xiao Runing's eyes. She casually glanced at Lin Xian's name and saw it. Isn't this Lin Xian? Why are you in contact with him? Xiao Runing asked. Xiao Xinyue was also quite surprised. She picked up the phone and said calmly, no, maybe he has something to do. Xiao Runing laughed in her heart. This bastard. Why is he talking to beautiful girls everywhere? I think he likes you. This person is very perverted. Even if you have a boyfriend, he'll probably still have his eyes on you. Xiao Xinyue. You know him that well? Xiao Runing nodded. It's okay. He was my student in Tianhua City. Didn't he tell you? She shook her head, and then sent a message to Lin Xian. He's womanizing everywhere. He even took advantage of me. Xiao Runing quickly stopped mid-sentence. Nothing. It's up to him. Chapter 763. In any case, in Xiao Runing's eyes, Lin Xian was a pervert. He didn't have anything that was particularly good at picking up girls. But one after another, girls would stupidly jump into his arms. It was really amazing. Even she had been taken advantage of countless times by Lin Xian. Her first kiss was also gone, but she wasn't angry. When she was alone, she would even think of that bad guy. This was strange. So Xiao Ruan always told herself that it was because Lin Xian saved her. If it was someone else, they would have killed him long ago. If Lin Xian knew about this, he would definitely cry out that he was wronged. He wasn't a pervert, he was just a playboy. That was called universal love. Shouldn't a man be praised for having such a big heart? Xiao Runing then curiously moved to Xiao Xinyue's side and looked at her phone. The phone rang. It was a message from Lin Xian. Are you free? Come out for a meal. I have something to talk to you about. Xiao Xinyue was slightly stunned. She had a good impression of Lin Xian. Maybe it was because Lin Xian saved her before. Or maybe it was because after interacting with him, she felt that although this person was a playboy, he seemed to be a good person. especially when compared to her boyfriend Gong Sunjun. She felt that other than the difference in attributes and strength, a normal Gong Sunjun wouldn't lose to Lin Xian. However, for some reason, she didn't like Gong Sunjun. In fact, she felt more and more disgusted with him. This was a woman's intuition. She felt that this person wasn't very good. On the other hand, a playboy like Lin Xian was good. She didn't understand. Also, Lin Xian could easily defeat her. This woman was proud. She could allow others to defeat her, but she must fight back, just like Han Chuxue. However, Han Chuxue didn't fight for anything now. If Lin Xian defeated her easily, she would have a deeper impression of him. See, I told you. A man looking for a woman for a meal. It's already afternoon, so it'll probably be nighttime. He definitely doesn't have good intentions. This guy must have taken a liking to you. Regardless of whether you have a boyfriend or not, he just wants to pick you up. Xiao Runing pointed at the phone and said with a very reasonable look. She did not know why, but when Xiao Runing said those words, Xiao Xinyu felt a trace of joy in her heart. Perhaps she herself was not aware of this trace of joy. However, this was what Xiao Runing had said, and it might not be true. Although she did know that this Lin Xian seemed to be a playboy, and there were many rumors about him in the academy. What if he really had a problem? However, after thinking about it, he felt that he shouldn't be looking for her even if he needed help. Maybe something happened, Xiao Xinyu said. Why don't you go back and ask? She nodded and replied to Lin Xian. Is something the matter? Then his phone rang again. It's an important matter. I'll talk to you about it when we're out for dinner. It's hard to talk about it over the phone. Hey. When Xiao Runing saw Lin Xian's message, she looked as if she had seen through everything. Do you see that? He desperately wants you to go out. Are you close to him? Is there anything important that you two can talk about? Xiao Xinyu shook her head. She wasn't close to Lin Xian. That's right. You're not close to him. So what important things can he talk to you about? His focus isn't on the topic with you, but asking you out. He purposely said that he had something important to talk to you about. But in fact, he just wants to ask you out. Xiao Runing said with a very reasonable look, and Xiao Xinyu believed her. Indeed, based on Xiao Runing's understanding of this hooligan Lin Xian, her thoughts were correct. Then what should I do? Xiao Xinyu didn't know what to do. It seemed that her sister's relationship with Lin Xian wasn't bad. Although she was talking bad about him, she didn't have a hateful expression on her face. Ask him to come here. Xiao Xinyu. Don't worry. The corners of Xiao Runing's mouth rose slightly, and it was very beautiful. Then she said, I'll stay here and not leave. If you ask him to come to your house, he'll definitely be more excited than asking you out. Then when he suddenly sees me, Xiao Runing revealed a mischievous smile. It was a secret that she and Xiao Xinyu were sisters. No one knew, but it wasn't something that had to be hidden. It was fine to let Lin Xian and her friends know about it. Forget it. Xiao Xinyu shook her head slightly. Her house was a very private place for her. She didn't have many friends, so her house was very warm. The only one who came to her house was Xiao Runing. Even if Gong Sunjun sent her back a few times, he didn't have a chance to come up. Let him come. Don't tell me you want to go out with him? Xiao Runing said. Okay then. Xiao Xinyu then replied to Lin Xian, asking him to come to her house. Lin Xian was stunned when he saw Xiao Xinyu's reply. What the F***ck? She's asking me to go to her house directly. Can't she give me some time to prepare? However, Lin Xian was of course more than willing. Then Xiao Xinyu sent Lin Xian an address. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and replied, Well, is it too inconvenient? Xiao Runing couldn't help but laugh when she saw Lin Xian's reply. She said, See, this is a man. He deliberately looks like he's going to refuse, but he's actually happy inside. Let him come. Xiao Xinyu then replied, I'm cooking at home. I don't want to go out. Xiao Runing saw this and said helplessly, Then don't we still have to cook? It's almost time for dinner, Xiao Xinyu said faintly. Okay, then let your favorite sister cook dinner for you and that bastard. No. Xiao Xinyu shook her head. What's not? Not my favorite. Xiao Runing. That hurt. That's right. You love your boyfriend the most. Sigh. Xiao Runing then sighed and walked to the kitchen. Gongsun Jun? Xiao Xinyue shook her head slightly. Anyway, when she heard Xiao Runing say this, she didn't want to admit or say anything, because she knew in her heart that she had no feelings for Gongsun Jun at all. Although they got along well, she didn't feel happy like the rumors said. She didn't quite understand. She also told herself that it was because they hadn't been together for long, and it was because of her personality. Things would get better in the future. She had never been in a relationship before, so she didn't know much about relationships. She tried to hold hands with Gongsun Jun when they went out, but it was really awkward and she didn't like it. Other than that, they hadn't made any progress in more than a month. Although Gongsun Jun wanted to kiss her many times, he couldn't do it at all. Gongsun Jun also felt uncomfortable. It had been more than a month, and they hadn't *king kissed or touched each other's faces. But he was patient. He could play slowly, and during that time, he could casually find other women to have fun with. Then, Xiao Xinyue went to the kitchen and helped Xiao Runing. Lin Xian excitedly went to Xiao Xinyue's place and called a taxi. Chapter 764. Why was Lin Xian so excited? *CK. He had asked a girl out, and she had asked him to go to her house. This was more or less a hint, right? Anyway, that was what Lin Xian thought. If he told Xiao Xinyue the truth, she would definitely be sad. When a woman was sad, what could happen if he was by her side? It was hard to say, but it was an opportunity. After about 20 minutes, Lin Xian arrived at Xiao Xinyue's neighborhood. Since they were all from St. Brilliant Academy, they wouldn't live too far away from St. Brilliant Academy. Lin Xian and the others lived in the southernmost area, while Xiao Xinyue lived in the northernmost area. The distance between them was a little far, about 8 kilometers. But in a city, 8 kilometers was nothing. It was just that taking a taxi and waiting for traffic lights took some time. 20 minutes wasn't too long. Xiao Xinyue's neighborhood was a very luxurious bachelor's apartment. Don't think that a bachelor's apartment would be cheap just because it was small. Lin Xian and Ling Ying were living in a standard 3-bedroom apartment. The location was good, and the price was good too. It was about 150 square meters. Xiao Xinyue's bachelor's apartment was only 70 square meters, but it wasn't cheaper than a 3-bedroom apartment of 150 square meters. It depended on one's habits. If she liked a smaller space, then she would live in a bachelor's apartment. She had all the rooms that a bachelor's apartment should have, but it was relatively small. Knock, knock, knock. Lin Xian stood at the door and took a deep breath before knocking. Light footsteps came from inside, and then the door was opened. Xiao Xinyue was wearing pajamas, but she changed into loose casual clothes in advance when she thought that a man was coming to her house. Xiao Runing slept at her place last night, and she was also wearing pajamas. At first, she was stunned when Xiao Xinyue wanted to change. She didn't think it was necessary. Then she suddenly realized that she could casually wear pajamas to meet Lin Xian. She even felt that it was no problem at all. Although a girl's pajamas didn't reveal much, and were even more conservative than casual wear, there was a feeling that it would be ambiguous if you wore pajamas to meet the opposite sex. Therefore, Xiao Runing, who suddenly realized this, quickly changed her clothes. As the door opened, a gentle breeze accompanied by the faint fragrance of a young girl wafted into the room. It really made people feel relaxed and happy, especially when they saw Xiao Xinyue in front of them. She was so beautiful that she could captivate even birds and beasts. She was so delicate and perfect that it made people feel better. "Please come in," Xiao Xinyue said after seeing Lin Xian. Then Lin Xian walked in. "Wow, it's so beautiful." Lin Xian couldn't help but exclaim after entering. The space was not very big, but it was really beautiful. Lin Xian even felt that Xiao Xinyue had spent millions to decorate her home. The whole place was in an old-fashioned state. The lighting was a little dim, and the space was a little smaller. It couldn't be more beautiful, and it was especially clean and tidy. Lin Xian quite liked small places. An empty living room, and a very small and beautiful living room really made the latter feel great. Especially when the curtains were drawn and the light was dim. Doing it on the small living room sofa, just thinking about it made him excited. It's okay. What do you want to drink? Xiao Xinyu asked. Anything. By the way, I heard that you were cooking, so I bought a soy sauce duck and some pig head meat on the way. Xiao Xinyu, sorry for the trouble. Just put it on the table. Then she poured a glass of water for Lin Xian. Lin Xian walked to the table. The table wasn't in the kitchen. Usually, people didn't put the table in the kitchen. It was usually somewhere in the living room. Lin Xian casually glanced around and suddenly saw a figure standing in the kitchen through the blurry glass. He even heard the sound of vegetables being chopped. At first, Lin Xian didn't know what to think. His heart skipped a beat. This person can't be Gong Sunjun, right? F***ck. No wonder Xiao Xinyu asked him to come to her house. It was inconvenient for her to go out. It was even possible that Gong Sunjun saw his message and deliberately asked him to come. In other words, they wouldn't have sex, right? F***ck. Lin Xian couldn't accept it. In the kitchen, Xiao Runing knew that Lin Xian had come, but she didn't go out. She deliberately didn't go out. She was waiting for Lin Xian to come in himself. You have someone in your house. Lin Xian put the food he bought on the table and looked at Xiao Xinyu. Xiao Xinyu nodded. My sister. Hearing her words, Lin Xian immediately breathed a sigh of relief. The feeling of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel made him feel uncomfortable. So you have a sister? Then I'll go say hello. Lin Xian was quite excited. Xiao Xinyu was so beautiful. Her sister must be beautiful too. Maybe she was a beauty of the same level and could even trigger a mission for him. Then Lin Xian walked to the kitchen. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. The beauty in front of him turned her head. Lin Xian suddenly opened his mouth in shock. Damn. Miss Xiao. Lin Xian really didn't think that Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinyu were sisters. He never thought that they would be sisters. Then, he suddenly found out that they were sisters. Plus, he actually saw an old acquaintance in this kind of situation. This kind of shock was inevitable. Why do you look like you saw a ghost? Do I look like a ghost? Seeing Lin Xian's expression, Xiao Runing laughed. This feeling was great. His wishful thinking had failed, right? No, I'm just shocked. I didn't expect you to be sisters. Xiao Runing, Xiao Xinyu. It was common to have the same surname, so Lin Xian really didn't think about it. Damn. Although Xiao Runing didn't trigger the mission, Lin Xian didn't know the reason. It was the same for Yi. You said that they weren't beautiful and didn't have the qualifications to trigger the mission? That's impossible. Lin Xian believed that it would be triggered at a specific time. That meant he might have to make a move on a pair of sisters again. He already had a pair of sisters, Linglong Shui and Linglong Shui. He had 3 pairs of best friends, Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue, Lu Yufan and Yi Yi, Ling Ying and Han Chuxue. And even Lin Ye and Morong Qing could be considered best friends. Lin Ye and Xiao Runing were also best friends. What the F***ck? I'm afraid it's because I ruined your plans. Xiao Runing waved the knife in her hand and said with a smile. Xiao Xinyu came to the back. She could feel that the relationship between Xiao Runing and Lin Xian was very good. It wasn't a teacher-student relationship but friends. Very good friends. It really made her feel very strange. She also knew her sister very well. This scene was indeed a little strange. What plans? Don't you have some improper thoughts about Xinyu? Ha. What are you talking about? Chapter 765. Lin Xian blushed when Xiao Runing hit the nail on the head. No matter what he did or what he did, Lin Xian was here to woo her. That was the truth. Aren't you being too much of a hooligan? It's fine if you're a playboy or interested in other girls, but Xinyu has a boyfriend. You can't do that, Xiao Runing said to Lin Xian. Damn. Who said I'm interested in your sister? Lin Xian said unhappily when he heard Xiao Runing's words. First of all, saying something like that could resolve the current crisis. Second of all, any pretty girl would hope that a guy would like her and revolve around her. Of course, Xiao Xinyu was the same. Even if she didn't think that way, she would subconsciously think that way. However, Lin Xian said that he wasn't interested in her right in front of her face. There was no need to explain the benefits of that, right? Although Lin Xian didn't think that he was a Casanova, he had woken up a few girls. He still knew some tricks to woo girls. Then why did you ask her out for a meal? Xiao Runing didn't believe Lin Xian's nonsense. I have something to do. I said I have something to do. It's very, very important, Lin Xian said. Oh, can you say it now? Lin Xian shook his head. No. Why? Because it has to wait until after the meal. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Come and help me. Lin Xian was unhappy. Damn. I'm a guest. An honorable guest. Lin Xian turned his head and walked to the sofa after he finished speaking. When he turned the corner, Lin Xian said, Oh right, you don't have to make too much. I've already eaten. I'll just eat a little later. Also, I brought 2 dishes, pig head meat with green onions. It's very refreshing. Xiao Runing. This bastard. Why does it feel like everything that comes out of his mouth is so ridiculous? Then Xiao Runing smiled helplessly. You go chat with the guests. I'll cook, Xiao Runing said to Xiao Xinyue. I'll help you. The last thing she wanted to do was spend time alone with a boy. It was fine if she spent more time with Gong Sunjun. But with Lin Xian, she didn't know what to say at all. Although you can ignore this guy, you still need to show proper etiquette. Why don't you cook? Should I go and chat with him? Forget it then. Your cooking is delicious, Xiao Xinyue said indifferently and walked away. Lin Xian sat on the sofa. If it was only Xiao Runing, Lin Xian wouldn't have been able to relax. However, Xiao Runing turned out to be her elder sister. Now that he had a familiar face, Lin Xian suddenly felt that this home was especially open. Then, he leaned back on the sofa and skillfully grabbed a handful of longans. By the way, you're on your period? Lin Xian asked casually. Xiao Xinyue. No, this person really did seem a little. How did he manage to talk to girls like this so casually? It was a psychological problem. If it was just with Xiao Xinyue, of course Lin Xian wouldn't have said it. It was just that when Xiao Runing came out, he inexplicably felt that this place was very close. Yes. Xiao Xinyue didn't say much and just said yes. Why don't you ask me how I know? Lin Xian looked at her. Xiao Xinyue glanced at Lin Xian. Lin Xian peeled a longan and said, This can replenish blood, right? Xiao Xinyue. Then Lin Xian asked, By the way, how are things going between you and Gong Sunjun? It has nothing to do with you. No, it has something to do with me. Because I came to find you today about this. Xiao Xinyue frowned slightly. How much do you like him? Lin Xian asked again. Xiao Xinyue didn't answer. Lin Xian wasn't sure how far Xiao Xinyue and Gong Sunjun had progressed. Previously, they weren't progressing well. But now more than half a month had passed. Who knew how they were doing? So Lin Xian wanted to know what kind of tone he should use to tell her this news. Hey, tell me about it. No need. Xiao Xinyue refused to answer. Then how far have you two progressed? It has nothing to do with you. Lin Xian shrugged slightly. The reason why he wanted to tell her after dinner was because he was afraid that she would lose her appetite. What do you want to say? You can say it now. You don't have to wait until dinner. Xiao Xinyue looked at Lin Xian and said, Forget it. Let's talk after dinner. Say it now. Xiao Xinyue's tone hardened. Then you have to promise me that no matter what it is, you have to eat. Xiao Xinyue nodded. Hearing Lin Xian's words, she inexplicably felt that it wasn't a good thing. Then, Lin Xian took out the recording pen and handed it to her. Xiao Xinyue looked at Lin Xian suspiciously. I'll go help your sister. After saying that, Lin Xian walked away. Then, Xiao Xinyue sat there and slowly turned on the recording pen. It was a conversation between several people. She could recognize one of them immediately, and that was Gong Sunjun. She heard their conversation. At first, there wasn't much change in her expression, but when she heard Gong Sunjun's plan, her face became angry. She had never understood one thing. Why was it that when she went to the demonic beast domain, she met a few people who coveted her beauty? At that time, when she used her spiritual energy, her entire body lost its strength. That was why she was not their opponent. She didn't understand why, but she knew that there must be something wrong. She even thought that when she met those people, she didn't know how she fell into their trap. But now she understood. But that wasn't necessarily the case. Although she was angry, and even thought that it was true, after she calmed down and thought about it, what if it was fake? What if this was just a show made by someone who sounded like Gong Sun-jun? But if it was a show, who would know that she suddenly became weak during the battle? From what she knew, Gong Sun-jun didn't know either. Although he saved her and even asked her why she couldn't beat them, she only gave an ambiguous answer. She didn't tell him that she had no strength. Other than her, maybe only the person who made her weak would know. However, the recording pen Lin Xian gave her expressed her biggest doubt. A doubt that no one knew. So in fact she felt that it was true. But other than anger, she didn't seem to have many other emotions. Sadness? No. Perhaps he was disappointed. But more than that, he was furious. Maybe it was because he hadn't entered her heart, so she didn't care that much. If she really liked him, she could look at Ling Ying and Han Chuxue, how they indulged Lin Xian, and how Lin Xian took advantage of them before. Xiao Xingyue didn't even have a single intimate moment with Gong Sun-jun. This wasn't love, right? She slowly put away the recording pen and calmed down. Then she walked to the kitchen. Chapter 766. Lin Xian was helping Xiao Runing cut the vegetables. He wanted to take advantage of her. Just as Lin Xian was about to make a move, he suddenly heard a little noise. He quickly retracted his hand, that was secretly reaching for Xiao Runing's butt. Of course Xiao Xingyue didn't see it. Lin Xian was also shocked. He thought that Xiao Xingyue would sit there for a long time. Fortunately, he didn't make a move on Xiao Runing. Otherwise, if Xiao Xingyue saw it, he would be done for. It was basically impossible for him to have a girlfriend outside and pursue another. If he were to do it with her sister, then he would be done for. How could he pursue Xiao Xingyue? News of having a girlfriend outside could be used as an excuse. If she saw him taking advantage of Xiao Runing, then he would be digging his own grave. However, Lin Xian was quite surprised that Xiao Xingyue's expression was very well controlled. Lin Xian even felt that she was very calm, except for a little bit of anger. This was a good thing. There was only anger but no sadness. This meant that she didn't have any feelings for Gong Sun-jun. If she did have feelings for him, then anger would be her second reaction. Her first reaction would be sadness. It would take a long time for her to cycle between sadness and anger. This Xiao Xingyue had recovered so quickly. In Lin Xian's opinion, this was good news. Where did you find her? Xiao Xingyue looked at Lin Xian and asked. It didn't matter to her whether Xiao Runing was next to her or not. She didn't care that it would be embarrassing to talk about this in front of her sister. Xiao Runing heard Xiao Xingyue's words and turned her head in confusion. Lin Xian said while cutting the vegetables, I got it from the actor that Gong Sun-jun hired. I got the news by accident. Then I thought, how could a beautiful and outstanding girl like you be deceived by that guy? So I used my connections to find another person. This person is very cautious. I heard that he always carries a recording pen with him when he talks about benefits. Although he might not use it or dare to use it, it is his habit. It is because of this habit that we have such important evidence. Xiao Xingyue nodded. You believe me? Lin Xian asked in surprise. She believed him just like that? A woman's intuition was much more accurate than a man's. Although she shouldn't have come to a conclusion before she figured out the whole thing, she felt that it was true, whether it was towards Lin Xian or towards Gong Sun-jun. Although she felt that Lin Xian was indeed a playboy, she felt that his character was very good in other aspects. This point of view might have come from the fact that Lin Xian had saved her, and they had spent some time together. Another very important point was that her sister, Xiao Runing, seemed to have a very good relationship with Lin Xian. Not necessarily, Xiao Xingyue said, shaking her head. Yes, she didn't necessarily believe Lin Xian completely, although she felt that it was true. Lin Xian said, there are still a few witnesses. I'll take you to meet them after dinner. Okay. Xiao Xingyue nodded. She had to confirm this matter. Hey, what are you guys talking about? Why can't I understand anything? Xiao Runing was dumbfounded. Oh, I'm planning to make Gong Sun-jun a cuckold. That's it, Lin Xian said with a smile. Xiao Runing, get lost. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes. How shameless. Hurry up and say it. What's the matter? Xiao Runing saw that Lin Xian wasn't saying anything, so she asked Xiao Xingyue. Xiao Xingyue didn't need to avoid arousing suspicion. It seemed a little embarrassing, but she didn't care. Then, she played the recording for Xiao Runing. Bang! Xiao Runing slapped her palm on the marble stove, and then the stove directly cracked. I'll take you to cripple him, Xiao Runing said angrily. She didn't care if her sister found a boyfriend. No matter if the boyfriend was good or not, at least his character should be okay. But he did such a thing. What kind of character was that? Although Lin Xian's character was the same, he was at least open and aboveboard. Wait, was he really open and aboveboard? I'll do it myself, Xiao Xingyue said indifferently. Why don't I accompany you? Lin Xian said to Xiao Xingyue. No need. I think it's better to have someone to take care of you. What if you go to him, and he falls out with you? I'm stronger than him, Xiao Xingyue said confidently. You're stronger than him, but you've been tricked before, Lin Xian said. Xiao Xingyue was stunned when she heard Lin Xian's words. Right? You don't even know how you got tricked. What if you get tricked again? So I can take care of you. Even if something unexpected happens, I can use my space attribute to ensure our safety, Lin Xian said in a reasonable tone. I have to go too. I'm your biological sister, Xiao Runing said angrily. She didn't think much of it if it happened to her. But when it happened to her sister, she was especially angry. Okay then, sorry for the trouble. Xiao Xingyue felt that Lin Xian's words were reasonable. If he could do such a thing, it proved that he was a sinister person. Speaking of which, isn't it a little inappropriate for me to poke his tires like that? Lin Xian suddenly muttered as he rubbed his chin. No, I feel like you've finally done something decent, Xiao Runing said to Lin Xian. Lin Xian, I don't even have the mood to eat anymore. Xiao Runing flipped the spatula. That's why I said I'll tell you after dinner, but you just had to ask. Xiao Xingyue. Out of the pot, I've only made 2 dishes. Including your 4, I'm not in the mood. After dinner, I'm going to beat someone up, Xiao Runing said angrily. 20 minutes later, they finished their meal hastily. The most popular dish was the pig head meat that Lin Xian brought. Logically speaking, the pig head meat was really good with green onions. Then the 3 of them left the house. Lin Xian asked Wang Wenxuan, Ji Chong, and Ji Chong's girlfriend out. Lin Xian felt that they were more than enough. In the Gale Mercenaries coffee shop, they sat there while Wang Qianqian and Miao Xiaomiao served them coffee. Then, they stood quietly at the bar counter. Ji Chong's girlfriend, Zhang Lingling, lowered her head. Tears streamed down her face as Ji Chong comforted her. F***ck. I just found out about this. Wang Wenxuan slammed the table angrily. I'm sorry for poking your sore spot, but this is very important to me, so I hope you can tell me. Xiao Xingyue looked at them with sympathy. Their anger and sadness were incomparably real in Xiao Xingyue's eyes. Lingling, this is the #1 expert of St. Brilliant's Academy, but she fell for Gong Sun Jun's trick and became his girlfriend. They will definitely avenge you and us. Ji Chong comforted Zhang Lingling. Chapter 767. Lin Xian went to the bar to talk to Miao Xiaomiao. He couldn't do anything about the situation over there, so it was up to them to decide. Zhang Lingling wiped her tears. Although it was hard to talk about it, and she didn't want to remember it, Ji Chong didn't blame her. She also wanted revenge. Then, she told Xiao Xingyue and Xiao Runing about what happened that day in detail. The 2 women became angrier and angrier as they listened. This is his blood. It has his DNA. If you need to confirm it, you can go and get it tested. Zhang Lingling took out a small section of a fingernail that had been cut off. There was a trace of blood in the fingernail. She must have hurt Gong Sun Jun when she was forced to struggle. She also wanted revenge. Otherwise, she wouldn't have cut off this fingernail with a trace of his blood and kept it as evidence. But she didn't dare, and she knew it was useless. Now that someone had done it for her, she was really grateful. No need. Xiao Xingyue had completely believed him. There was no reason for her not to believe him now. Then she stood up, turned around, and walked out with a cold expression. You all have a good rest, leave the rest to us. Although we can't guarantee that we will be able to bring him to justice, but we will definitely be able to help you vent your anger. Xiao Runing comforted them, and then followed them. Lin Xian said to Miao Xiaomiao, I'll go with them. You don't have to go. Lin Xian then said to Ji Chong and the others, don't worry. They might not be able to do anything big now, but I believe that they will be brought to justice soon. They might even disappear from this world forever. Lin Xian was even more ruthless. Lin Xian knew that after this matter went out, he would definitely be hated by Gong Sun Jun. He would definitely want to kill him. When that time came, Lin Xian could kill him. Thank you, Brother Xian. Zhang Lingling wiped her tears, and then bowed to Lin Xian. No need. I have to thank you guys too. Have some coffee and leave the rest to the three of us. Lin Xian then followed. Lin Xian caught up with Xiao Xinyue and Xiao Runing. Hey, what are you going to do? Lin Xian asked Xiao Xinyue. I don't know. Xiao Xinyue said as she walked forward. That's right, she really didn't know what to do. She would think about it when the time came. Anyway, she had to confront him first. Of course Lin Xian cared a lot. After all, Xiao Xinyue meant something special to Lin Xian, even though they didn't seem to be very familiar with each other. Where is that Gong Sun Jun? Xiao Runing asked. In his house. Obviously, Xiao Xinyue had just asked him. Lin Xian said to Xiao Runing, Miss Xiao, I don't think you should go. I'm not going? Of course, Xiao Runing was unwilling. That's right. Although you are Xiao Xinyue's sister, you are also a teacher. You are in the same school as Gong Sun Jun. You are his teacher. You are not suitable to go. So what? It's enough that I am Xinyue's sister. I don't care if he is a teacher or not. Xiao Xinyue suddenly realized this when she heard Lin Xian's words. She knew that Xiao Runing liked to be a teacher. If this matter was made public, her relationship with her sister would be exposed. At the same time, she might not be able to be a teacher anymore because of the Gong Sun family. Although she could go to other schools, with the Gong Sun family around, at least no school in Lin City would accept her. This was because they didn't want to provoke the Gong Sun family. It would be very troublesome. You'd better not go. Xiao Xinyue said to Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing? Damn. When did the two of them start to wear the same pair of pants? I'll help you, Xiao Runing said. No need. Xiao Xinyue said softly. Although she looked cold, she didn't want her to pay the price. Although the price was nothing to them, she didn't want to trouble Xiao Runing. Fine, fine. If you don't want me to go, then I won't go. Xiao Runing obviously knew what she meant. She sighed softly and said, But you guys have to be careful. Don't cause too much trouble in other people's houses, especially you. Xiao Runing then glared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian expressed his innocence. Why did she remind him again? You are the most troublesome. Remember to control yourself. Although what he did was despicable, don't be too ruthless. Otherwise you might end up hurting yourself. Do you understand? She was just worried about Lin Xian. This guy really knew how to cause trouble. Sometimes he was especially ruthless. Don't worry. He didn't cheat on me. I don't have any big grudges with him. I'll just go and protect Xinyue. I won't do anything. Lin Xian said. That's good. Xiao Xinyue frowned. Lin Xian had called her several names. Why did it feel like he was playing it down? Was this the power of a shameless man's thick skin? However, she didn't want to think about this. What was more important was Gong Sun Jun's matter. Then Xiao Xinyue went straight away. Lin Xian followed her. Xiao Runing stayed behind, and returned to the Gale mercenary group. She believed in Lin Xian. She knew that Lin Xian's spatial power was very powerful. Even if something went wrong, he could at least run away. So she didn't go. If she went, it would make Xiao Xinyue feel bad. He knew it too well. On the other side, the two took a taxi and drove to Gong Sun Jun's house. Gong Sun Jun's house was a very large manor. There weren't many families in Lin City that had a manor. Only the top families in Lin City could afford it. The manor was located in a slightly more remote place. After all, it was impossible to build a manor in the city center. Even if you wanted to, the government represented by the three major forces wouldn't agree. When the time comes, I'll be your most solid guard. Lin Xian, who was sitting in the back seat, said to Xiao Xinyue. Whatever. Xiao Xinyue said indifferently. Lin Xian smiled helplessly. Cold girls were the hardest to get. However, Lin Xian looked at her favorability. It was 20 points. These 20 points of favorable impression points seemed to be quite high. Lin Xian knew that it should be because he had saved her life. Girls were indeed like this. No matter how cold a girl was, her heart would always be soft. Of course, this was only limited to those kind of girls. If you had a heart as venomous as a snake or scorpion, then it would be a different story. Then, when you break up, do you want to consider finding another boyfriend? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Xiao Xinyue. She felt that Lin Xian's words made it sound like she was a loose woman who wanted to find a new boyfriend after breaking up. She didn't want to find one in the first place. It was all because of Gong Sun-jun's act and his pursuit of her for 2 or 3 years that she fell for it. She was too embarrassed to reject his pursuit. Chapter 768. Xiao Xinyue shook her head. No need, I'm not interested. I say girls still need to find a boyfriend. Look at how beautiful you are. How many outstanding boys would want to hold you in the palm of their hands to protect you? The driver overheard their conversation and couldn't help but laugh. Lin Xian also laughed and agreed. Uncle, you're right. Girls, especially beautiful girls, need to be taken care of. Xiao Xinyue. What did Lin Xian mean? Young man, are you her pursuer? The driver asked with a smile. Yes, but she's a little hard to pursue. Lin Xian said with a smile. Xiao Xinyue. This girl is so beautiful. If you want to pursue her, you'll have to put in a lot of effort. Lin Xian. Yes, she's so hard to pursue. She doesn't even talk to me. Xiao Xinyue. Alright, she felt like this Lin Xian was teasing her on purpose. She pretended not to hear him. Ha ha ha, uncle was once your age. You have to be sincere to girls. Girls can tell if a man is sincere or not. Isn't that right, girl? Xiao Xinyue was stunned for a moment, then she softly said, Yes. Aya, this girl is really pretty. I haven't seen such a beautiful girl in so many years. Young man, you have good taste. Lin Xian scratched his head and laughed. I won't pursue her if she's not pretty. Ha ha ha, you're ambitious. Good luck. Xiao Xinyue didn't know what Lin Xian wanted to do. Look, uncle has high hopes for us. Lin Xian moved closer to Xiao Xinyue's face and said with a smile. Do you believe that I won't tell Ling Ying? Xiao Xinyue didn't know what to say, so she just said it directly. Lin Xian. Wow. Why do all girls know how to do this? Tell him, I'm not afraid. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders, looking like he wasn't afraid at all. Xiao Xinyue glanced at Lin Xian. Was he really not afraid? Acting, this is definitely an act. Alright, then I'll tell him. She didn't even look at Lin Xian. She was waiting for Lin Xian to beg for mercy. Who knew that Lin Xian would never admit defeat? Was he really not afraid? He didn't know why, but after talking to Lin Xian for a while, his mood actually improved. Soon they arrived at the manor of the Gongsun family. In this huge manor, there were a lot of servants and the like. This was a big family. In fact, the so-called servants were definitely not like the ancient times where they had no human rights. In fact, they were just working in the big family and helping out with some miscellaneous things. As for who was in the Gongsun family, such as Gong Sun-jun's father, it was unknown. But even if his father was here, Xiao Xinyue would not admit defeat. Standing at the entrance of the manor, Xiao Xinyue pressed the doorbell, and then a few security guards came out. Oh, it's Miss Xiao. Please come in. They obviously knew Xiao Xinyue, and naturally received instructions that she could enter at will. They quickly opened the door for her. When their gazes landed on Lin Xian behind Xiao Xinyue, they were all puzzled. Xiao Xinyue was their young master's girlfriend. They knew that there was no problem for her to come. But why was there a man of similar age behind her? Even if he was Gong Sun-jun's friend, he couldn't enter without permission. Stop. They stopped Lin Xian. What? Aren't you going to let her in? A bodyguard said. The young master only allows Miss Xiao to enter at will. Even if the others are the young master's friends, they still need to report to the young master. I brought him here. Xiao Xinyue looked back and said lightly, Miss Xiao, we are following orders. Logically speaking, if Xiao Xinyue was angrier now, she would directly attack Gong Sun-jun's henchmen. I'll say it again. I brought him here. Xiao Xinyue's tone was cold, and those people instantly felt like they had fallen into an ice cellar. They looked at each other. Indeed, Gong Sunjun had said that if it was a girl, they would definitely allow Xiao Xinyue to bring her in. But it just so happened that it was a guy. They didn't know why, but in their eyes, Xiao Xinyue was their young master's favorite woman. Her words were also in order. Please come in. After thinking about it, they decided to let Lin Xian in. If Xiao Xinyue was unhappy, they would have to bear the consequences, even if they were following orders. Where is your young master? Xiao Xinyue asked. The young master is waiting for Miss Xiao in the back garden. Then Xiao Xinyue and Lin Xian walked over together. Lin Xian scanned his surroundings to see what the situation was like in the manor. There were quite a few people, but most of them were servants who cleaned the yard or watered the plants. They were all very ordinary people who came here to work every day. They didn't belong to the Gongsun family. There are members of the Gongsun family living in this manor, but that's just the Gongsun family. The Gongsun family is a relatively large family, and they have other direct descendants. However, they aren't here, so I don't know how many experts there are here. Xiao Xinyue explained to Lin Xian on the way, because it was very likely that there would be a battle soon. She wasn't here to simply reason with him. What was the point of that? Could there be people from the Azura Palace here? Lin Xian asked. No, the Azura Palace is the Azura Palace. Even if he's the hall master, he can only use the people of the White Tiger Hall, and he can't use a large number of them. This is their home, so it's obviously against the rules to use the people of the White Tiger Hall to guard the house, so there shouldn't be any members of the Azura Palace. Lin Xian didn't know what kind of experts such a family could have. Was it the Heavenly Venerable Realm? There should be some in the Domain Realm. However, Lin Xian, who had advanced to the Law Realm, had the spatial attribute. Domain Realm experts definitely couldn't defeat him, but he could use the spatial attribute. Domain Realm experts could no longer restrict Lin Xian, who had the spatial attribute of the Law Realm. So there shouldn't be a problem. Even Heavenly Venerables couldn't restrict him, as long as he didn't have any special methods to restrict space. There was no other way. Lin Xian had to help Xiao Xinyue vent her anger. If he helped her vent her anger, it would be easier for him to get Xiao Xinyue. After that, he didn't know what to do. There was also Morong Qing. How annoying. Although he said it was annoying on the surface, he was actually very satisfied and looking forward to every reward. Perhaps this was what men were like. Soon, they arrived at the beautiful back garden. Even though it was winter, there were still flowers of various colors. Coupled with the white snow, it was truly beautiful. Xinyue. Gong Sunjun didn't expect Xiao Xinyue to take the initiative to look for him. Then he happily stood up and suddenly frowned. Chapter 769. Gong Sunjun felt very uncomfortable. He thought that Xiao Xinyue came to him because she missed him or something. Even if she didn't miss him, he was willing to come. This was the first time. But when he looked back, it was Lin Xian. What the F***ck is going on? Why did Lin Xian come with him? His girlfriend could come with any other man, but not with Lin Xian. This was because Lin Xian was his mortal enemy. He was the kind of mortal enemy that he had to kill. He made him lose face and went against him. For a young master like him, others had to be respectful when they saw him. Who dared to provoke him? Not to mention humiliating him in front of his face, and even flirting with his girlfriend Xiao Xinyue in front of him. But now, Xiao Xinyue actually brought him here. This made Gong Sunjun unable to accept it. At the same time, he had an inexplicable bad feeling. He hoped that Lin Xian had something to do with him, and that Xiao Xinyue didn't specially bring Lin Xian here. Isn't this young Master Lin? Why didn't you inform me before coming? Although he was extremely unhappy, how could Gong Sunjun show it in front of Xiao Xinyue? Oh, I'm just here to play. Young Master Gong Sun, do you not welcome me? Lin Xian said with a smile. Of course, I welcome you. It's just... Gong Sunjun glanced at Xiao Xinyue, then said to Lin Xian, that's right. You see, Xinyue came to find me. I still have a lot of things to talk about with Xinyue. Why don't you go back first? When I'm done, I'll come find you personally. How about it? Lin Xian shook his head. That's not necessary. I came with Xingyue for you. Oh, Gong Sun Jun's eyebrows twitched slightly. Because of Lin Xian's appearance coupled with his words, he had a bad feeling. But he couldn't show it. Then come and sit. Let's have a cup of tea and talk slowly. No need. Xiao Xingyue said coldly. Gong Sun Jun looked at her. Hearing her tone and seeing her expression, he frowned. Sure enough, his feeling was right. Gong Sun Jun thought that Lin Xian had said something to Xiao Xingyue. But he believed that he could explain himself. Xingyue, what happened to you? Gong Sun Jun said to Xiao Xingyue with a smile. Xiao Xingyue extended her hand and threw the recording pen to Gong Sun Jun. Gong Sun Jun raised his hand and caught it. Listen to it yourself, Xiao Xingyue said indifferently. Gong Sun Jun looked at the two of them in confusion. Then he turned on the recording pen. The first thing he said was his own words. When he heard these words, his entire body trembled with a thump. How could this be? The content of the recording pen continued to play until Gong Sun Jun finished talking about his plan. Then, Gong Sun Jun turned it off. Xingyue, just because of this? Gong Sun Jun was very calm. Is it not enough? Ha ha ha. Gong Sun Jun couldn't help but laugh. Xingyue, don't you know what kind of person I am? Don't you know how sincere I have been to you during this period of time? Yes, there is someone in this recording who sounds like me, but this is a recording. Don't you suspect that someone is framing me? Deliberately creating conflicts between us to break us up? To achieve his unspeakable goal? When Gong Sun Jun said this, he looked at Lin Xian. He was telling Xiao Xingyue that this was Lin Xian's conspiracy. But he never thought that there would be such a recording. He never thought that it would happen. Yes, he did do this, but he really didn't expect it. He didn't give the 5 people money, because he knew that it was the same whether he gave them money or not. They wouldn't dare to say anything. So why should he give them money? They weren't his people. After this, they wouldn't have any interaction with each other. But this recording. Hearing Gong Sun Jun's words, the corner of Lin Xian's mouth curled up. Xiao Xingyue had confirmed it before coming over. Young Master Gong Sun, why don't we do an audio detection? Lin Xian, what do you mean? Gong Sun Jun looked at Lin Xian with an ugly expression. I don't mean anything else. I just found this thing out of the blue. Oh, Ji Chang gave it to me, so I gave it to Xiao Xingyue. I just think that it's despicable to pursue a girl like this. What do you think? Lin Xian asked, smiling. The reason why Lin Xian wanted to mention Ji Chang was because only he would suffer Gong Sun Jun's wrath if he did so. The other 4 most likely would not. If he did not mention Ji Chang, all 5 of them might be killed. Xingyue, believe me. Someone is framing me. Gong Sun Jun walked towards Xiao Xingyue and reached out his hand, but Xiao Xingyue released a force and pushed him away. You still don't want to admit it? Xiao Xingyue looked at him coldly and asked. Gong Sun Jun gritted his teeth. Admit it? Yes, admit it. Maybe admitting it would give him a chance. He knew Xiao Xingyue. She wouldn't come if she wasn't sure. Maybe she already did an audio detection before coming. Yes. Gong Sun Jun gritted his teeth and nodded. I did this. I didn't want you to know, because I didn't want you to think too much. You should know what I mean. Gong Sun Jun then looked at Xiao Xingyue with a pleading look. His eyes were extremely sincere. However, in the eyes of Lin Xian and Xiao Xingyue, it was extremely ugly. Xingyue, you should know what I mean. I pursued you for almost 3 years. I really pursued you for a long, long time. But you still ignored me. Only through this method can I pursue you. I lied to you. But that's because I love you too much. Really. I did this because I love you too much. To be honest, if it was just like this, if he was a good person and just did this, these words might soften Xiao Xingyue's heart, because girls were really easy to soften. However, no matter how sincere and touching he said it, it was useless because he was simply not good enough. He even raped Ji Chang's girlfriend. Besides her, Lin Xian and Xiao Xingyue believed that other girls had also suffered from this. Therefore, his current appearance was even uglier in Xiao Xingyue's eyes. You're really too annoying. Xiao Xingyue then took out the little bit of fingernail. This is Lingling's fingernail. There are traces of blood in it. She accidentally scratched you when you raped her. Do you need to do a DNA test? Xiao Xingyue asked coldly. Gong Sun Jun's pupils suddenly shrank. Ayaya, I say, young Master Gong Sun, your character isn't good. Although I'm a bit of a playboy, at the very least, I don't cross the line when I do things. As for you, sigh. Lin Xian shook his head and sneered. Shut up. Gong Sun Jun glared at Lin Xian and pointed at him with a ferocious expression. Oh, you're angry. Lin Xian continued to provoke him. Good. Very good. Xiao Xingyue, have you been colluding with this Lin Xian for a long time? Gong Sun Jun then pointed at Xiao Xingyue and said angrily. Chapter 770. Xiao Xingyue did not react at all. Ha ha ha. Gong Sun Jun could not help but laugh. Yes. I did it. King did it. I shouldn't have let them live. I should have killed them all and silenced them. Then, there wouldn't be such a King thing today. Gong Sun Jun roared with a ferocious expression. He had clearly lost his mind. He was furious that he was exposed on the spot. In addition, Lin Xian was here, and Lin Xian was still mocking him. He really could not take it anymore. Gong Sun Jun then looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, you and I don't have a deep grudge, but you've been courting death step by step. Today, you must die here. You must die here. If I don't kill you, I won't feel at ease. Kill me? You've had this idea for a long time, haven't you? Previously, your father sent people to kill me also because of you, right? Lin Xian asked with a sneer. Xiao Xingyue glanced at Lin Xian. Had he been assassinated by Gong Sun Jun before? Haha, yes of course. You're just lucky that they didn't kill you. They're just trash. Do you think you can escape a second time, just because you can escape once? Please take a look at where you are. This is my Gong Sun family's manor, the place where you're about to die. Jumping here. Who the CK do you think you are? Gong Sun Jun's expression was ferocious. Lin Xian sighed. Unfortunately, you may have forgotten one thing. I have the space attribute. I dare to prove that I can escape. Ha ha ha. Gong Sun Jun laughed again. Then he took out a remote control in his hand and pressed it. Suddenly, a barrier was formed around them. The barrier enveloped the entire back garden. Space attribute? Use it for me to see. This is a power that can restrict the surrounding space. Even if you have the space attribute, you can't jump out with your Thunder Tribulation Realm strength. If you die here, no one will know. As for you, Gong Sun Jun then pointed at Xiao Xingyue with a ferocious expression. King bitch. You're lucky that this young master has taken a fancy to you. What else do you think you have besides being pretty? It was obvious that Xiao Xingyue was incomparably angry, but these words made her extremely angry. Today Lin Xian is going to die, and you. This young master originally wanted to have a good relationship with you, but you brought this upon yourself. After killing Lin Xian, this young master will strip you naked and press you against the side of the swimming pool. This young master wants to hear you cry yourself hoarse, and from then on, you will become this young master's sex slave. Ha ha ha. Shua. Xiao Xingyue stretched out her hand, and a sword appeared in her hand. She then turned into a cold light and sped away. Gong Sun Jun was shocked, but he reacted quickly. However, compared to Xiao Xingyue, his strength was still lacking. Of course, Lin Xian wasn't worried about Xiao Xingyue. Although they were both geniuses, Lin Xian had seen Xiao Xingyue fight before. She wasn't just a little bit stronger than Gong Sun Jun. Lin Xian sat there, watching the two people fighting in front of him. What a pity. Although you open this barrier, you can't escape. Lin Xian sat there and shook his head with a smile. Young master. Young master. A group of people had gathered outside, and they were all looking inside worriedly. There were even many experts inside. Lin Xian didn't panic at all, and just looked ahead. Gong Sun Jun was completely beaten up by Xiao Xingyue. Although it was winter in the back garden, it felt like spring. However, Xiao Xingyue's cold power had completely turned the place into an ice cellar, and all the flowers had turned into ice flowers. Gong Sun Jun's nose was now bleeding, and his face was swollen like a pig's head. It was true that he had dual attributes of metal and wind, but Xiao Xingyue also had dual attributes of ice and wind. She was the same as Han Chuxue. Although she couldn't beat Gong Sun Jun in terms of strength, Xiao Xinyue's realm was higher than his, and her ability was stronger than his. Plus, this was an angry Xiao Xinyue. He really didn't have any room to fight back. He regretted it. He regretted opening the barrier. Couldn't he have opened it after letting the people outside in? Now the remote control in his hand was frozen, and he couldn't press it at all. Bang! Xiao Xinyue angrily kicked him, and he flew more than 20 meters away. Lin Xian even heard the sound of his ribs breaking. Pooh! Gong Sun Jun spat out a mouthful of blood and wailed on the ground. As a young master, when had he ever suffered such an injury? Not even when facing demon beasts. He was protected by the experts of his family. Whoosh! Xiao Xinyue rushed over without hesitation and stood beside Gong Sun Jun. Ha ha ha. Gong Sun Jun laughed, and his teeth were all covered in blood. Do you dare to kill me? You don't dare. Even if the barrier can't be opened, you can't run away. You will still have the same ending. Ha ha ha. Ka. Ah. Xiao Xinyue walked over and stepped on his arm. The sound of bones breaking was followed by his scream. Lin Xian was secretly speechless. Sure enough, angry women were all tigresses, and he couldn't afford to provoke them. Ka! Xiao Xinyue stepped on his leg on the same side. Ah, stop! Stop! Gong Sun Jun screamed. Chi! Then Xiao Xinyue inserted her sword into the back of his hand, nailing his hand to the ground. Another scream was heard. Xian! Xinyue, I was wrong. Please stop, please. Gong Sun Jun was simply too miserable. He was really in pain, and didn't dare to talk nonsense. Boy, let her stop. A group of people stood behind Lin Xian. The one who spoke was Gong Sun Jun's father, Gong Sun Hao. Don't yell, don't talk nonsense. Lin Xian said as he clasped his hands. Stop. Otherwise, all of you will die here. Gong Sun Hao roared angrily. This enchantment could either close by itself, wait for its energy to run out, or only be broken by the power of the Empyrean realm. But they didn't have Empyrean realm here. He Gong Sun Jun was only in the domain realm. F***CKU. Don't yell, didn't you hear? Lin Xian cursed. You! Gong Sun Hao's face was ferocious. Xiao Xinyue really wanted to kill him, but she was still rational. She couldn't kill people, but she could torture them. It didn't matter if their hands and feet were broken. With the current technology and ability, even if their legs were broken, they could be reattached. But this kind of pain was not something that anyone could endure. Then she raised her sword and cut off Gong Sun Jun's broken arm with an indifferent expression. Ah! An arm flew out due to the force and landed in the distance. Gong Sun Jun's blood flowed like a stream, and after a scream he fainted. Juner! Gong Sun Jun roared. Xiao Xinyue put away her sword. She had already vented. Then she glanced at the people outside indifferently, and then looked at Lin Xian. Chapter 771. Let's go. Lin Xian stood up and said to her. How do we go? Kill our way out. Xiao Xinyue was ready to kill her way out. As long as they didn't kill anyone, the tribunal wouldn't find trouble with them, because this matter was Gong Sun Jun's fault. It wasn't a problem for them to vent their anger, as long as they didn't kill anyone. As for the Gong Sun family, even if Xiao Xinyue temporarily crippled Gong Sun Jun, they couldn't blatantly seek revenge, because they were at fault. They could only do it secretly. This was also why Lin Xian and Xiao Xinyue dared to do this. Assassination? They weren't afraid. At most, they would assassinate Lin Xian. Xiao Xinyue wouldn't die. She would definitely be kidnapped. Lin Xian's mouth curled up. No need. Then, Lin Xian waved his hand at the angry people. Everyone bye-bye. After speaking, he took Xiao Xinyue's hand. It was really tender and smooth. Then Lin Xian released the law of creation, and created a hole in the barrier, consuming 1/5 of his spiritual energy. Then, Lin Xian pulled Xiao Xinyue and rushed out. Then, he released the spatial attribute, and the two of them disappeared. Now that Lin Xian had reached large success in the space attribute, he could teleport very far away. As for the law of creation, Lin Xian could create it as he wished, opening up a hole for them to leave. This was probably why the law of creation was so terrifying. Lin Xian knew that just opening a hole in the barrier wasn't a big deal. So when he heard Gong Sun Jun's words, he was fearless. Otherwise, he really didn't know what to do. The main thing was that this Gong Sun Jun was simply too stupid. Then the figures of Lin Xian and Xiao Xinyue disappeared. The others could only stand there and wait for the barrier to disappear. This barrier didn't seem to exist for long. It disappeared about 2 minutes later, but fortunately, it disappeared quickly. Otherwise, Gong Sun Jun might have bled to death. Juner! Juner! Gong Sun Hao rushed in with everyone. Quick, water martial artist, heal quickly! Quick! While he was outside, he had already gathered several powerful water attribute martial artists, ready to treat him at any time. Of course, this treatment couldn't help him connect his arm or connect his broken bones. But it could alleviate his external and internal injuries and stop his bleeding. This way, his life wouldn't be in danger. For Gong Sun Hao to be able to stand at his current height, he obviously wasn't a fool. Although he didn't know what had happened, when he saw Lin Xian and Xiao Xinyue teaming up to beat up his son, he knew that his son must have done something. Maybe his assassination of Lin Xian was exposed, but that shouldn't be the case. If it was exposed, what did it have to do with Xiao Xinyue? This was also the reason why he didn't summon anyone to look for Lin Xian and Xiao Xinyue when they left, even though he knew them. After Gong Sun Jun was healed by several water-type martial artists, he slowly opened his eyes. "My son, how are you?" Gong Sun Hao looked at Gong Sun Jun worriedly. When Gong Sun Jun saw his father, his tears fell directly. "Dad, I want to kill Lin Xian. I must kill Lin Xian." Although these injuries were caused by Xiao Xinyue, it was all because of Lin Xian. "Okay, no problem. Lin Xian will definitely die. Let's heal him first. Then, I'll bring you to the hospital to reattach your arm. Don't think about anything for the next few days. Tell me, isn't Xiao Xinyue your girlfriend? Why did they do this to you?" Then Gong Sun Jun told Gong Sun Hao the reason for the matter with difficulty. Gong Sun Hao was also helpless. His son actually had to rely on such a method to pursue a woman. "Father, you must kill Lin Xian and avenge me, or I will commit suicide." Gong Sun Hao cried. "Don't worry, that Lin Xian will definitely die. This time, I will use the power of my White Tiger Hall to kill him. My Gong Sun family will also make a move. He beat my son like this. He will definitely pay the price in blood." Gong Sun Jun then closed his eyes. "Vented your anger?" Lin Xian and Xiao Xinyue swaggered down the street. Although they had done such a thing, they knew very well that they definitely wouldn't dare to do anything in broad daylight. They wouldn't do anything either. Xiao Xinyue nodded without any reluctance. She was very relieved. "Then shouldn't you thank me?" Lin Xian asked with a smile. Yes. Xiao Xinyue knew that it was thanks to Lin Xian that she could know all this, especially Gong Sun Jun's flustered and exasperated face just now, which made her feel disgusted. She really didn't know why she fell in love with such a person. Fortunately, she didn't lose anything. She only held hands with him occasionally, and for a short time, because she wasn't used to it. And she was really grateful to Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled. "Then I'll wait for you to thank me." "Right." Lin Xian suddenly thought of something. "You and Gong Sun Jun have been dating for more than a month. How far have you progressed?" In fact, Lin Xian was a very chauvinistic person. How should he put it? Perhaps it was because the girls around him were all very outstanding, beautiful and pure. He had a feeling that even if other girls were very beautiful, as long as they were intimate with other men, he would be very uncomfortable and unable to accept it. He couldn't accept this kind of intimacy, even if it was a kiss. Yes, perhaps it was a bit extreme, but Lin Xian was like this. "Why do you ask this?" Xiao Xinyue glanced at Lin Xian. "Just asking, to see if you've suffered a special loss." Lin Xian smiled. "We just held hands," Xiao Xinyue said. "That's good." Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. It was just holding hands. This was nothing. Lin Xian could accept it. So this Xiao Xinyue still had to be pursued. "I'll treat you to a meal tomorrow," Xiao Xinyue said to Lin Xian. "Wow. I helped you so much, and you're treating me to a meal?" Xiao Xinyue. To be honest, she didn't know how to repay Lin Xian. "Then tell me, anything is fine." Xiao Xingyue said. Oh, anything? Xiao Xingyue nodded. Suddenly, she thought that this sentence didn't seem right. Then why don't we try to date? I'll let you experience the true sweetness of a relationship. Lin Xian smiled. Xiao Xingyue. Not interested. She said lightly. But why did she feel a little moved in that moment? Lin Xian glanced at it. Her favorability had reached 35 because of this matter. Obviously, she was extremely grateful to Lin Xian. Why don't we try? Lin Xian continued to smile. He knew that she definitely wouldn't agree. He just wanted to test her first, so that she could be prepared for the future. After all, Lin Xian wanted to pursue her. Cough cough, unlimited firepower started at 7 in the morning. Please allow me to stop updating tomorrow, and have a good day. Wahahaha. But that's not necessarily the case. If I feel like writing, I'll still post. It depends on the situation. Hee love you guys. Chapter 772. Xiao Xingyue and Lin Xian were walking on the road. When she heard Lin Xian's words, she glanced at him again. I said I'm not interested. But you also said that anything would be fine. Xiao Xingyue. Wow. She had just left a scumbag. How did she meet another shameless one? But it was true. She did say that just now. Xiao Xingyue was silent for a moment. You have a girlfriend? Xiao Xingyue said helplessly. We're all men like this. Actually, I don't. Lin Xian shook his head and said. Xiao Xingyue frowned slightly and looked at Lin Xian. Ding. Deceiving little big sister. Prince Charming points plus 100,000. Lin Xian then said. Actually, you can ask your sister. I've known Ling Ying Lu Yufan and Yi Yi for a long time. When we were in Tianhua City, we were all classmates of Miss Xiao. So when you saw me hugging girls, it was all an act. Ding. Your method is considered a scumbag's method. Prince Charming points plus 200,000. He clearly had a girlfriend, but he said that he didn't have one. This was indeed a scumbag's method. Lin Xian admitted it. Lin Xian knew that if he were to let her know that he had a girlfriend before he managed to win her heart, it would be almost impossible for him to win her heart. Even if she had feelings for him in the end, it would be useless. She would definitely not be able to accept it in her heart. However, if she were to find out about it after they had started dating, it might be different at that time. Lin Xian also sighed. What AF * king scumbag? Why do I have to act? Xiao Xingyue was puzzled when she heard Lin Xian's words. Of course, she was also surprised. But thinking about it carefully, those girls were all outstanding girls. They were also beautiful, and had good family backgrounds. How could they be willing to share a man? How could the world know about it? Lu Yufan, Yi Yi, and Wang Xintong. It's purely because we're good friends. They don't care about their own reputation. So they simply asked me to do them a favor, and act to let others know that they have boyfriends. In other words, they're the legendary shields. As for Ling Ying, someone made a bet with me. The bet was 5 million in cash. They bet that I could get her in 3 days. Then, I discussed it with Ling Ying and split half of it with her. Only an idiot wouldn't take advantage of it. It's free money. Don't you think so? Lin Xian said with a smile. Why didn't Xiao Xingyue believe him? She could feel that the way those girls looked at Lin Xian was not the way they would look at a friend. She was a girl, so she might know better. However, she had never truly fallen in love with someone. She did not know if the way they looked at Lin Xian was love. Really? Damn. It's true. Otherwise, do you think I'd be able to win Ling Ying's heart in 3 days? Do you think she's the kind of girl who can be bought with money? Ding. Deceiving Miss Big Sister. Prince Charming points plus 300,000. Okay. Xiao Xingyue nodded. Then her beautiful eyes saw a place that sold milk tea. She walked over. Boss putting milk tea with extra pearls. Then, she looked at Lin Xian and asked, what do you want? Same as you. 2 cups. Lin Xian then continued. But don't tell anyone. Okay. So, can we try to fall in love now? Lin Xian then asked with a smile. Xiao Xingyue. Why were they here again? No. Wow. You really don't keep your words. I've seen through you. Xiao Xingyue. Xiao Xingyue was too lazy to continue this topic with Lin Xian. Then she reminded Lin Xian. Be careful during this period of time. Gong Sun Jun will definitely think of ways to kill you. Do you think I'm afraid of him with my space attribute? As for you, although he won't kill you, he will definitely make a move on you. Because he has already shed all pretense of cordiality. There's no need for him to hide anything. Lin Xian reminded her. You just need to take care of yourself. Xiao Xinyue took the milk tea and handed it to Lin Xian. Are you worried about me? Lin Xian took the milk tea and said with a smile. No. Lin Xian. Please touch your conscience and say it again. No. Then can I touch your conscience and listen to it? Xiao Xinyue. She had a very strange feeling. She clearly hated this kind of person who was flirtatious and acted like a hooligan. But why didn't Lin Xian hate her when she acted like a hooligan? He didn't hate her at all. She thought about it. Perhaps it was because Lin Xian saved her and helped her. It was a great help to her. Let's go home. Xiao Xinyue sighed and said, Hey, you haven't replied to me yet. Let's try talking. Lin Xian grinned at her. You like me? Xiao Xinyue asked. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and nodded. I like you. You're so beautiful. Any man would like you. If I didn't like you, why would I help you? Why would I bring trouble to myself? Wouldn't I be an idiot? I didn't know you were Miss Zhao's sister at that time. My previous contact with you was only in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. I didn't have much contact with you in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave. Why would I help you, right? Because I like you. We'll talk about it later. When Xiao Xinyue heard Lin Xian's words, she didn't know whether she should believe it or not. Xiao Runing had said that this person was a big hooligan, very bad. But it just so happened that Xiao Runing had a very good relationship with him, which was strange. Moreover, she also had a good impression of him, which was also very strange. How about this? You don't want to be my girlfriend for now. Of course, I don't think I'm that charming. Let's try it out first. We can go out as friends to eat, drink, and have fun. If you like this feeling, I'll confess to you in the future. It's like you're giving me a chance to pursue you. This will be your compensation to me. Is that okay? Lin Xian realized that this method was extremely useful. He wanted the girl to give him a chance to pursue her. He had even taken advantage of Linglong Shui back then. He believed that the more he could take advantage of this girl, the more feelings they would have for each other. Xiao Xinyue felt that Lin Xian's words were quite sincere. Moreover, they were just going to eat, drink, and have fun. As for whether Lin Xian liked her or not, she wasn't sure. She kept her doubts and didn't care. I'll repay you. As for what you said, I think it's normal to be friends. Xiao Xinyue said faintly, and then sipped her milk tea. Lin Xian was delighted. Her words were very clear. She treated Lin Xian as a friend. It was normal for friends to go out and have fun. She would agree if she had time. Then let's go out and watch a movie tonight. Lin Xian asked with a smile. Chapter 773. Although Xiao Xinyue had never truly loved someone, she still knew a thing or two about going to the movies together. This was simply too ambiguous. She had only gone to the movies with Gong Sun Jun. At that time, she was his girlfriend. To be honest, it was not a big deal for them to go to the movies together. But this Lin Xian directly wanted to go to the movies with her? No. Next time. Why next time? It's New Year in a few days. You women are always like this. Next time, next time, next time. God knows when the next time will be. It might be 1,000 years later. Xiao Xinyue. It seemed to make sense. She also hated those kinds of excuses the most. For example, the next time they play together, the next time they eat together, the next time they do whatever. But the next time was an uncertain word. It might just be an excuse when they met. There was no next time at all. When did she start to say such things? However, what was different was that what she meant was not just an excuse to ease the current awkwardness. She had already thought about it. The next time Lin Xian asked her out, she would agree. I'm not in the mood for this matter this time. You can look for me next time. Then tomorrow. Xiao Xinyue. Did this person have nothing better to do every day? Okay. He love you. After that, they went their separate ways. Lin Xian suggested sending her home, but she didn't need it. Actually, Lin Xian wanted to see if he could do something at her house. However, he looked at the time and realized that it was almost night time. The new year was coming soon, and Lin Xian really wanted to spend some time with Linya. Of course, during this period of time, he was not as busy as before. However, the project that Morongqing was in charge of had officially started. She was relatively better off because her project was easier to calculate. After negotiating with the three major forces and signing the contract, she just needed to manufacture it. For the time being, she did not need to sell it to the public. So it was simpler and not particularly troublesome. Lin Xian originally planned to go home and cook a big meal for Linya in advance. Lin Xian saw that the lights in the house were on downstairs. Lin Xian knew that Linya had returned. He came back more than an hour earlier than usual. When he opened the door, he saw the figure in the kitchen busy. "Little fairy, I'm back." Lin Xian ran into the kitchen and hugged the figure who was cooking. "Morongqing. I say, do you always take advantage of your sister at home?" Morongqing turned her head and said with a smile that was not a smile. "Lin Xian. F***ck. Why are you here?" Because her back was facing him, Lin Xian didn't think that there would be other people in the house, so he didn't look carefully. If he looked carefully, he would find that the hairstyle of the back was different, but the figure was very good. Lin Xian also didn't think that Morongqing was cooking. On the other side, Linya walked out of the bathroom and saw this scene. When she heard what Morongqing said to Lin Xian, she blushed. Cough cough. Lin Xian quickly released Morongqing. How can this brother and sister take advantage of each other? This is called a good relationship. Lin Xian quickly explained. That's right, we have a very good relationship. Then why did you have the urge to touch this old lady's chest? Lin Xian. Linya. F***ck. Don't talk nonsense. When I hugged you, my position was a little higher. Also, that wasn't your chest. Don't talk nonsense. If I touched your chest, would you still be so calm? Lin Xian and Linya's special relationship was not known to anyone for the time being. Morongqing didn't think much of it. She was just teasing Lin Xian. She didn't really think that there was anything between the two of them. Although they weren't biological siblings, wait, they really didn't know? Linya walked over and said to Lin Xian. Qing Qing came to our house as a guest. Yes, she has a good sense of being a guest. She even took the initiative to cook. Worthy of praise. Lin Xian gave Morongqing a thumbs up. Xiao Xian, you rest first. We'll be done soon. Lin Xian didn't refuse. He lay down on the sofa and picked up his phone to send messages to Ling Ying, Han Chuxue, and Miao Xiaomao. Do you guys often have this kind of physical contact at home? Morongqing then chatted with Linya in the kitchen. Linya was a little embarrassed. She said softly, Actually, it's nothing, right? Morongqing nodded. It's nothing, but Lin Xian is too perverted. You guys aren't biological siblings, so you know, right? Maybe he's using the excuse of a younger brother to an older sister. But in fact, he's thinking about a relationship between a man and a woman. Morongqing was of course joking. Linya knew more about this than she did. Linya coughed slightly and said while cutting vegetables, It shouldn't be anything. Hey, you said it shouldn't be, Morongqing said with a smile. Linya. Okay, it's just a joke. Even if you two really do it, it's nothing. You're not biological siblings anyway. Linya. I'm just joking. On the other side, Xiao Xingyue also returned home. Inside the house, Xiao Runing was already there, cooking in the kitchen. You're back. Xiao Runing glanced at Xiao Xingyue, then wiped her hands and walked out. Wash your hands and eat. Your beautiful and virtuous sister has already cooked. Xiao Xingyue nodded. Then the two of them sat at the dining table. How is it? Xiao Runing asked. It's useless. Xiao Xingyue said very calmly. Xiao Runing. Okay, it didn't seem too surprising. Then you should be more careful. Although Xiao Runing looked worried, but this kind of worry didn't seem to be particularly big. It was as if she had a very confident attitude towards Xiao Xingyue. I know. Then the two especially beautiful girls began to eat. After a few minutes, Xiao Xingyue suddenly asked, How is Lin Xian? Xiao Runing raised her head and looked at Xiao Xingyue in surprise. Why are you asking? No, I'm just asking. He's helped me a lot. Xiao Runing didn't think too much about it. Then she thought for a moment and said, this Lin Xian looks sloppy and very perverted. But after getting along with him, this person is very reliable. He is also very loyal and righteous. He doesn't have any shameful thoughts. In short, I think he is a rare and relatively positive character. Xiao Xingyue. How perverted was he? Why did her sister keep repeating this? That was because Lin Xian had taken advantage of Xiao Runing many times. She remembered it in her heart. He was a pervert. However, she also felt that this Lin Xian was very perverted. Although he said that he wasn't in a relationship with those girls, his actions and words made people feel that he was a pervert. Chapter 774. Xiao Xingyue then asked, in short, he's a good person, right? Xiao Runing nodded. Yes, he's very good. He's very reliable and loyal. Aren't there fewer and fewer people like him in this world? Also, he saved my life. Xiao Xingyue frowned and looked at Xiao Runing. She had never heard her mention this before. Xiao Runing smiled and said, there was an accident during one of Tianhua Academy's training sessions. He used the power of space to save everyone, including me, but he didn't have enough spiritual power. In the end, he was left alone. Luckily, he survived. Xiao Xingyue was shocked. In such an era, a student of that time was actually willing to save everyone else and place himself in a hopeless situation of certain death? It was no wonder that Xiao Runing had such a good relationship with such a person. He had so many beautiful girls around him. As a girl, she knew very well that as long as he wasn't a seductress, a pure and self-loving girl, who wouldn't like such a sincere guy? For example, if you went out with a boyfriend and girlfriend, as a girl, you wouldn't have to worry about whether the guy would abandon you in the face of danger. It was very safe. He shouldn't have said anything to you, right? Xiao Runing asked in a puzzled tone. Xiao Xingyue shook her head. No, he didn't say anything. I was just surprised that he wasn't even worried about being hated by the Gongsun family. Yes, you don't know him that well. Why would he help you like this? There's no need for that. Could it be? Xiao Runing suddenly thought of something and looked at Xiao Xingyue. He wouldn't do anything to you, would he? Xiao Xingyue. That seemed to be the case. Let me tell you, this person is very perverted. Although he's reliable, there are too many girls around him. I know a few of them like him, but I don't know if they're his girlfriend. You should think about it carefully. I won't interfere. I know. In the hospital, Gongsun Jun had just been wheeled out. His arm had been reattached, but even if it was reattached, it would not affect his daily life in the future. He could still move freely, but obviously, he could not bear too much of a burden. In the future, he would not be able to use too much force with his right hand in battle, and he would definitely not be able to punch his opponent. He might not even be able to hold a sword with his right hand, because it was too fragile. This obviously had a great impact on his combat strength. He had been lying in the hospital for at least a month, and this was under the premise that the water-type martial artist frequently treated him. Jun, my Jun. Inside the ward, a beautiful woman held Gongsun Jun's hand and cried sadly. No matter what kind of person she was still a mother. Her son had become like this. As a mother, she was naturally very sad and distressed. Gongsun Hao stood at the head of the bed and was also distressed. Of course, he was more angry. This was not only hurting his son, it was also a slap to Gongsun Hao's face. A slap to the face of the Azura Palace's White Tiger Hall master. To put it simply, in this Linen city, apart from the three major forces, no matter if it was rich or powerful, they couldn't compare to him. Gongsun Hao. Even Liao Jian was below him. Mother, father, you must avenge me. Gongsun Jun was lying on the bed, his eyes full of anger and pain. Husband, husband, kill them, you must kill them. Gongsun Jun's mother then cried and grabbed Gongsun Hao's hand. Don't worry. Gongsun Hao patted her shoulder to comfort her, and then said to Gongsun Jun, that Lin Xian, I will definitely kill him for you. He provoked me, Gongsun Jun. He brought about his own destruction. Gongsun Hao said with a gloomy face, thank you, father, father. That Xiao Xingyue must not be killed. I want her to beg for death. At this moment Lin Xian and the other two were sitting around the dining table, pouring some red wine. The house was very warm. The Fu character had been pasted early, and there were all kinds of beautiful colorful flowers. In short, the whole house was very beautiful, but it was a little empty. After all, there were only a few people. However, on the day of the new year, it would be lively. At that time, Morong Qing, Ling Longshui, Bing Lingyue, and Ling Longyue would all come together to celebrate the new year. However, for Lin Xian, it was a little bitter. Although the new year was happy, after the new year, it would be painful because he had to go to Tiandu to welcome the whipping of the Ling and Han families. Therefore, he was enjoying the happy time now. However, Lin Xian thought about it, and felt that there should be no problem to bring Ling Longyue there. He would say that he would take her to see the big scene, and take her to the most prosperous city to eat more delicious food. At that time, there should be no problem with the celestial realm girl protecting her, right? Although he was their boyfriend, where was the problem? Their mother was more or less the same, but the most difficult one was their father. For a father, his daughter was really the most precious thing. Naturally, she would have to face the test from her father. Moreover, there was also a group of arrogant young masters in Tiandu. Lin Xian was already prepared to welcome the storm. I have to say that your cooking skills are not bad. Lin Xian took a bite of the food and praised Morong Qing. Nonsense. Do you think I don't know how to cook? I am alone every day. Although most of the time, I have others to help me cook. But I still have a lot of time to be bored. Usually, I still like to cook by myself. After I finish cooking and eating, sometimes 2 hours will pass. To be honest, it was a little sad. Then you can come here if you have nothing to do in the future. Little Xian and I are also very bored usually. The more the merrier. Lingya said to Morong Qing. Sure, I am very happy anyway. It's just that I don't know if someone will welcome me. Morong Qing smiled and looked at Lin Xian. Of course, you are welcome. Do you see? Lin Xian then pointed to his room. See what? Morong Qing was stunned. That is my room. I don't mind if you stay there at night and squeeze in with you. Morong Qing. Lingya. Little Xian. Lingya said to Lin Xian with some reproach. In her eyes, Morong Qing should be Lin Xian's sister. Morong Qing was Lingya's sister. Obviously, she felt that Lin Xian was flirting with her like this. It's okay. Morong Qing smiled and said. Being able to joke like this means that everyone gets along well. Lingya nodded slightly. As long as you don't mind. Little Xian doesn't mean anything else. He is just like this. I know. Lin Xian scratched his head. Chapter 775. The meal was pleasant and harmonious. They talked a lot about the development of the Yixian group. However, when Lin Xian mentioned his idea for the first time, Morong Qing was a little surprised. You want to establish your own force? Morong Qing frowned. She knew that Lin Xian didn't establish the Yixian group purely for money. In her opinion, money was important, but it didn't seem to be tempting to Lin Xian. As expected, he had other bigger ideas. The key point was, it didn't matter if he wanted to establish a force. What he said was that he wanted to establish a fourth force. What kind of concept was that? The three forces were the three dynasties. There were 5 empires on the continent, but there were no emperors in the empires. There were only representatives. It wasn't a constitutional monarchy. The 3 forces were unified by the 5 empires. In simple terms, the 3 forces were the 3 governments of the continent. Each of them had their own duties, and they were the ones with the greatest authority in the continent. Now he was telling her that he wanted to establish a 4th force, from the previous 3 forces to 4 forces. This was simply too exaggerated. Lingya was also shocked. She thought that Lin Xian only wanted to make money, so that everyone could live a better life. She didn't expect him to have such a big goal. It wasn't difficult to establish a force. Apart from the 3 forces, the Azura Palace should be the top force. However, it was really difficult to expand under such circumstances. The 3 forces were already deeply rooted in the continent. Yes, let's give it a try. Lin Xian ate a mouthful of food and said, but, although you may not lack money in the future, It's not as simple as you think. First of all, you must at least have the foundation to establish yourself. Money is one, and the other is a strong warrior. You need a real strong warrior to at least guarantee your confidence. What kind of strong warrior? Morong Qing was the executive officer of the Holy Palace. She must know a lot about this. Therefore, Lin Xian actually wanted to ask for advice from Morong Qing. Lin Xian trusted Morong Qing. This woman was really good. Let me tell you about the Azura Palace first. Morong Qing sighed. She always felt that Lin Xian was thinking too simply. The powers in the mainland are roughly divided into 5 levels. T1 level powers are the 3 major powers, and there are 8 T2 level powers in the entire 5 empires. Perhaps you haven't heard much about them, because these 8 powers are controlled by 8 families. Our Tiandu is one of them, and the other 7 are in the other 4 empires. These T2 level powers have about a few tens of millions of members. Basically, they only exist within the empires they are located in. However, a power with a few tens of millions of members is already considered very strong. These members are just ordinary warriors, and a power like the Azura Palace is a T3 level power. Don't think that T3 rank is that bad. The 8 great families of Tiandu are all T3 rank forces. Lin Xian. This was much more terrifying than he imagined. The 8 great clans were the T3 ranked forces? Lin Xian had always thought that existences like the 8 great clans were second only to the 3 great powers. He didn't expect that there were 8 more forces above the 8 families. They should be the super families. The Azura Palace was not inferior to the 8 families. The Azura Palace had 4 halls, and one of them had many experts. The White Tiger Hall, where the Gongsun family was located, was the weakest of the 4. Therefore, it only controlled the border cities. The 3 powerful halls were developing in the inland. T4 level forces belonged to some big families. For example, the Gongsun family, the Liao family, or some families that are far from the 8 families, but are not weak. These families usually have peak Grand Dominion realm experts. They rarely have heavenly venerables. Their family wealth is also very high. T5 level forces belong to small families, or some mercenary groups. Lin Xian rubbed his chin and said, "Then according to what you said, even if I don't develop, I'm already a T4 level force." Morong Qing. That's reasonable, but it's too difficult to rise. T3 level forces like the Azura Palace and the 8 families have assets in the trillions, or tens of trillions. You have the Yixian group, so I don't think it's difficult to reach that level. Moreover, it will be very fast. But the most important thing is that these T3 level forces usually have 1 or 2 experts in the Grand Dominion realm. But that's not the most important thing. They have dozens of heavenly venerables and countless Grand Dominion realm experts. Where do you get these experts? Moreover, they are all loyal experts. They are basically members of their families. It's not as simple as just working for you. This was indeed a big problem. What's the use of having money? No experts of this level would serve you for money. The 8 families and the Azura Palace had developed for a long time to accumulate their resources. Dozens of heavenly venerables. There would probably be thousands of Grand Dominion realm experts. This was really difficult. Then I'd like to ask if our assets are similar, but my faction doesn't have that many experts. If I can destroy an existence like the 8 families, would I be considered a T3 level force? Lin Xian asked. Morong Qing. What kind of crazy words was this child spouting? If you don't have that many experts, how can you destroy the 8 families? Morong Qing took a bite of the food and shook her head helplessly. Linya listened to their conversation silently. She was also enriching herself, trying hard to understand Lin Xian's thoughts. Didn't you say that the top experts in the 8 families are only at the Grand Dominion realm? Then if I have a Heavenly Dao realm expert, but I don't have dozens of Heavenly Venerables and hundreds or thousands of Grand Dominion realm experts, but a Heavenly Dao realm expert can easily beat dozens of Heavenly Venerables. I should be able to destroy those families easily, right? So this is what I mean. After all, Linglong Shui was already at the Heavenly Dao realm. Bing Lingyue was about to advance to the Grand Dominion realm, and so was Linglong Yue. Morongqing. If that's the case in a certain sense, you have indeed reached the heavenly Tao realm. Even if we have the God's spawn system, how many people in the entire continent can reach the heavenly Tao realm? I don't know either. In fact, I only know of one person, and he's the strongest in the holy temple. If you were at the heavenly Tao realm, you would definitely be a T3 faction, but that's that. I don't think it's a problem at all. Defining an existence isn't about whether you can beat him or not. For example, the Ling family has a heritage of centuries. They have plenty of experts, and their social network isn't something you can compare with. You might be able to beat them, but it's hard to tell how you will develop in the future. Lin Xian stroked his chin. That's why there's no precise definition. Yes. However, Morongqing was very curious. Why would Lin Xian mention the heavenly Tao realm? Was he just asking or saying impossible? Chapter 776. Lin Xian then asked, "What steps do I need to take to create my own force?" There's no need. If you have this idea, you can develop your own force. No one will care except for your competitors, but the premise is that you have to be legal. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. I haven't asked you yet. Where does your confidence come from? Morongqing felt that she had known Lin Xian for a long time. From her understanding of him, this person didn't seem to be so brainless. He definitely wouldn't say such big words. He was either joking or being serious. However, Lin Xian understood so much from her. It didn't seem like he was joking. Let's talk about this later. What do I need to pay attention to? Or why don't you help me? Lin Xian said shamelessly. Morongqing was in a high position. She even knew a lot about the existence of the holy sanctum. If he could get Morongqing's help, it would be the best. Forget it. We'll talk about it when the time comes. Morongqing felt that Lin Xian was purely relying on the Yixian group. Yes, the Yixian group was like the sun in the sky. It only needed time. She felt that it could bring Lin Xian a T3 level force, which was the 8 great families and the Azura Palace. However, it needed time. Lin Xian wanted a force like the 3 great forces. Anyway, in her opinion, it was impossible to achieve in this era. Wait. If the Yixian group could withdraw a series of heaven-defying things, it was really hard to say. It was impossible for others, but it was possible that Lin Xian could do it. But did he have so many good things to introduce? The attribute increasing potions that could be made from the 9-colored spiritual lotus would definitely create another wave. However, that thing was destined to not be mass-produced. And if it couldn't be mass-produced, it wouldn't be accepted by everyone. Alright, that means you've agreed, right? I can definitely help. After all, I'm also a member of the Yixian group. Then it's settled. Lin Xian smirked. Morongqing didn't seem to care too much. She felt that Lin Xian was just doing it on a whim. With the Yixian group's ability, it wouldn't be difficult to create a T3 class force with time. He didn't need her help. Alright, where's Dragoni? I haven't seen you for a long time. I missed you so much. Morongqing suddenly thought of something. F***ck. I forgot about her. Lin Xian scratched his head awkwardly at the sudden mention of Dragoni. He said that he would pick her up at night. And then, I'm done eating. I'm going to bring Dragoni home. With that, Lin Xian slipped away. Morongqing and Linya watched as Lin Xian left. Then Linya smiled and said, Little Xian is getting busier and busier now. But I'm really happy with his change. You didn't do proper work before? Morongqing put a piece of red braised pork in her mouth and asked with a smile. Well, you can't say that. Little Xian didn't have the God spawn system before, so he always felt inferior. He only got it 3 months ago, and I don't know how he got it again. It's like he changed into a different person. It's pretty good. No system? Morongqing frowned. To be honest, countless elites of the 3 factions were researching the system. How did it come about? Why did people carry a system with them when they were born? It wasn't like this many years ago, but it was impossible to figure it out. In the end, the conclusion was that there might be a god who transcended this realm watching over Sky Blue. The shifter race was strong, but the human race was still ordinary. Without the system, the human race wouldn't be able to cultivate. Therefore, that god gave everyone a system. This was the only explanation. Because they could cultivate, people felt that some things that were illusory in the past might be real. For example, a god. And Lin Xian didn't have a system? This wasn't a normal warrior's matter. The commoners were too concerned about it, so it didn't spread far. Morong Qing didn't know about it until now, so she was shocked when she heard Lin Ye say it. She was really curious about the reason behind it. Yeah, didn't he tell you? Lin Ye didn't think it was a secret. Many people in Tianhua City knew about it. No, but it's really amazing. I've never heard of such a thing. Morong Qing thought that Lin Xian was special because of this. It was hard to say. I don't know either, but I'm really satisfied now. I don't even ask for little Xian to be strong. But he's a man. A man should have ambition. As long as he's safe and sound, that's enough. Lin Ye sighed softly. That's right. Every time she saw Lin Xian improve greatly and become more and more powerful, even his company's daily profits were very exaggerated. She should be happy. Actually, she was happy. However, the more she was happy, the more uneasy she felt. Especially when she heard Lin Xian say that he wanted to establish a force like the three major forces. The uneasiness became even stronger. Yeah, this world is much more complicated than we thought. Morong Qing sighed as well. Let's go shopping after dinner, okay? We'll buy more New Year's goods and things for the new year. It's very lively today. Sure. Let's go now. We're almost done eating. Then, the two beautiful women packed up and went out shopping. For Linya, this year's Lunar New Year was special. In the past, it was only her and Lin Xian who celebrated the Lunar New Year together. She tried very hard to make the house lively, but there was nothing she could do with the small number of people. However, this time, she heard from Lin Xian that Ling Longshui and the others were coming. Morong Qing was also not going home and wanted to celebrate the Lunar New Year here. That meant that there were a total of 6 of them this year. This was a feeling she had never felt in her life. Of course, other than the time at the orphanage, she also looked forward to it and was very happy. On the other hand, Lin Xian went to Ling Longshui's house. Their house was specially decorated today. It was very warm and beautiful. Big brother Dragoni, who was sitting on Ling Longyue's lap, flew over and threw herself into Lin Xian's arms. Lin Xian's face was filled with excitement and sadness. Dragoni thought that big brother wouldn't come to pick me up. Dragoni raised her cute little head in Lin Xian's arms and said to Lin Xian with a wronged expression, "How can that be? I will definitely do what I promised you." Lin Xian smiled gently and scratched her cute little nose. But in his heart, if Morong Qing didn't suddenly mention it, Lin Xian might have really forgotten about her. This time, he also wanted to tell them about Lin Xian's idea of establishing his own force. Although Ling Longshui is now his wife, he still needs to tell her. Chapter 777. Lin Xian hugged Dragoni and sat between them. "Xiao Linglong, I have something to discuss with you." For some reason, Lin Xian was extremely thick-skinned when they weren't in a relationship yet. Now that they're in a relationship, Lin Xian was embarrassed. "Speak." Ling Longshui also felt that something was wrong with this guy. He wasn't such a yes-man in the past. Ahem, Lin Xian coughed dryly. "I want to establish a human faction, but I need a master to oversee it. So I thought of you guys." Ling Longshui didn't look surprised. She just nodded slightly to show that she agreed. After all, when she helped the humans escape from Tianhua City, she had already changed from a neutral position to the human side. Lin Xian wanted to establish a human force, and she had a relationship with Lin Xian in this aspect. It would be strange if she did not agree. Really? Lin Xian was also pleasantly surprised. Initially, he thought that Ling Longshui would not agree to it. After all, she was from the demon race. However, the fact that she agreed to it so readily was truly a pleasant surprise. She nodded again. "But I won't help you deal with the Yao. Although she's on the side of the humans, she's still a Yao. If they don't provoke her, she won't take the initiative to kill them. Just like how Lin Xian wouldn't kill people for no reason. It's the same principle. Don't worry, I'm just asking you to oversee things. If we encounter any danger in the future, Or if some powerhouses come looking for trouble, at least we won't be afraid with you around. Lin Xian said with a smile. Then as a human can I join? Bing Lingyue asked. Of course. I can't wait for you to join. Lin Xian nodded. I don't have to do anything normally, right? Lin Xian nodded. Of course, you can do what you normally do. It's just that after this organization is established, you may need to take action sometimes. Yes. Bing Lingyue nodded. Then Lin Xian looked at Ling Longyue. Hey, what do you want me to do? You already have big sister and big sister Bing. Ling Longyue pouted her lips. You can never have too many experts, Lin Xian said with a smile. Is there any reward? Lin Xian thought about it and said, I'll give you money every month, and after the new year, I'll take you to Tiandu to eat delicious food. Ling Longyue's eyes flashed. All right then. Remember what you said. After the new year, you must bring me to Tiandu to eat delicious food. Lin Xian nodded repeatedly. Of course, of course. Tiandu is the most prosperous and largest city in China. There are a lot of delicious food that you can't eat in other cities. When the time comes, I'll take you to eat everywhere. At least you still have the heart. Ling Longyue said proudly. Lin Xian was laughing in his heart. Even if he tricked her, she would be his little bodyguard when he went to the Ling family or the Han family. This wasn't the first time this had happened, but this girl always fell for it. How pitiful. Big brother, Dragoni wants to help too. Dragoni poked her head out and said in a cute voice. Okay. When the time comes, you'll be the trump card. Lin Xian said with a smile. Hee. This girl might really be his trump card when the time comes. She might look harmless now, but she was a dragon. She had absorbed the fire attribute energy from there for thousands of years. Maybe even tens of thousands of years. She had even swallowed the dragon pearl of a true dragon. In the future, she would be a terrifying existence. What's your name? Ling Longshui was a little concerned. After all, this was her man's career. I haven't thought about it yet. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Originally, Lin Xian wanted to call it Art Courtyard or something. But a big force with such a name was a little out of line. The Judgment Union, Holy Temple Bounty Hunter Guild. These were the names that a force should have. Even the Evil Fiend Shrine and Thousand Demon Alliance had their own grandeur. Why don't you guys help me think of a name? You think of one yourself. Ling Longshui said faintly as she ate a chip. Since he wanted to do this himself, he had to think of a name himself. Okay then. I'm not in a hurry anyway. How's my son? Lin Xian then reached out and touched her lower abdomen. Ling Longyue gritted her teeth. She was unhappy to see her sister being touched by a man, even though it was through her clothes. Bing Lingyue saw Ling Longyue's expression and held back her laughter. They were really interesting. Ling Longshui was also helpless. She couldn't stand being so intimate with Lin Xian in front of Bing Lingyue and Ling Longyue. If they were alone it might be okay. But it was still okay, because Lin Xian didn't do anything other than touching her stomach. Moreover, it was through her clothes. To be honest, Lin Xian was extremely messy when he became a father. He wasn't as calm as he looked on the surface. No one would be calm in such a situation. It was just that Lin Xian's attention was more on Ling Longshui at that time. So he didn't show it. Not bad. Ling Longshui said as she removed Lin Xian's hand. Lin Xian smiled bitterly. Although this was indeed a relationship, this girl was still so cold. However, if they were alone together, Lin Xian was still confident that he could push her down again and again and again and again. If he couldn't push Lin Xian down, then he was really weak. Women could do it before the 4th month of pregnancy, but they had to pay attention to their posture. Just like now, it was only slightly more than a month, and her stomach was barely protruding. Since everyone is here, why don't we think of a name for our son? Lin Xian suddenly had an idea. Call me Little Dragoni. Dragoni suddenly said. Lin Xian couldn't help but pinch her little face. Don't talk nonsense. He's not your child. Oh. Then she blinked her big eyes, shrunk her little head, and became quiet. Needless to say, Lin Xian's sudden suggestion piqued Ling Longshui's interest. What if it's a girl? She asked. Then think of a boy's name and a girl's name. Bing Lingyue said with a smile. If it's a boy, how about God Lin? Then Lin Xian got the girls rolling their eyes. Why not Ling Long? She's the descendant of the Void Fox clan. Ling Long, you said. What a joke. Children have to follow their father's surname. Lin Xian of course knew that there were some people who followed their mother's surname, but most of those people were the ones who married into the family. Lin Xian was more traditional. He still thought that it was better to follow the man's surname. Ling Long Shui didn't think much of it. She knew the tradition of the human race. She carefully considered the child's name. Chapter 778. When Lin Xian saw Ling Long Shui deep in thought, he smiled in his heart. The fact that she was deep in thought meant that she cared deeply about it. Of course, maybe she doesn't care too much about him. Maybe she cares more about the children. But it doesn't matter, the favorability is there anyway. She's a tsundere and prideful person. Although she agreed to be with Lin Xian, it's still hard for her to accept it in public. This will take time, Lin Xian understands. What name do you have in mind? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Ling Long Shui shook her head. She thought of a few names, but they're just average. Forget it, there's still time. Take your time. Ling Long Shui nodded. Lin Xian still cares a lot about the children's names. He thinks his name is pretty good, but most adults will give their children's names a certain meaning. Lin Xian doesn't have any experience in this area, so he doesn't understand the emotion. Ling Long Shui is the same. Don't look at how long she's been living. Who would understand this kind of thing? Let's go back first. Oh right, don't forget to come back in a few days for Chinese New Year. I'll pick you up then. Okay. They nodded. Then Lin Xian took Dragoni back home. Linya also likes Dragoni very much. It's rare for her to be this happy like a little girl. Lin Xian thinks he should cherish it. Dragoni, what other ability did you awaken? On the way, Lin Xian curiously asked Dragoni in his arms. Dragoni poked her head out, then blinked her big confused eyes. Dragoni doesn't know. She shook her head. Looks like I'll have to find a time to take you to the beast domain to try it out. Lin Xian muttered. Okay. Dragoni didn't quite understand Lin Xian's meaning, but whatever Lin Xian says is always right. Dragoni is indeed powerful, but Lin Xian really doesn't know what kind of power she has. Not even the Eye of Heavenly Insight can see through her power, but she seems harmless to humans and animals. Back in the Holy Dragon Flame Cave, the door that even Morong Qing couldn't break through was destroyed by Dragoni's flame. Lin Xian wasn't sure if it was because of Dragoni's sudden burst of power, or if she really has this level of power. Dragoni herself doesn't know because she has never fought before, so she doesn't have any impression of using her power. Back home, Morong Qing and Linya are chatting on the sofa while watching TV. Damn, you're not leaving? Lin Xian looked at Morong Qing. This girl had already changed into her pajamas. I'm not leaving, I'm playing with your sister tonight, aren't you? Lin Xian. Linya. This woman was truly a seductress. Dragoni. Linya called out happily when she saw Dragoni crawling out of Lin Xian's arms. Dragoni obediently flew over to Linya's embrace. Hurry up and go back, you're not welcome here. Dream on if you want to get on the little fairy's bed. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at Morong Qing and mumbled. Are you jealous? I can get on top of you. Morong Qing smirked. Lin Xian. Girls were indeed like that. Those who had a good relationship liked to sleep together. Of course Lin Xian knew that as well. He was just joking around. Then why don't you sleep with me tonight? Ahem. Morong Qing coughed dryly. If it were just the two of them, she wouldn't be afraid of Lin Xian at all. But there's Linya next to them. Xian, don't joke around like that. Linya gave Lin Xian a reproachful look. Lin Xian then touched the tip of his nose and sat between them. How's the bubblegum production coming along? Lin Xian asked with concern. Yo, a big boss like you still cares about these things. Morong Qing teased. To be honest, he was a bit embarrassed. It was irresponsible of him to leave all the work to others, but he liked it. It was really comfortable. Morong Qing then said. Everything is on the right track. Now more than 200 factories are working day and night to produce bubble guns. I'm also looking for people to open up factories in other places. When the time comes, there will be even more. There will be 2 batches of workers, day and night shifts. It is estimated that we can complete the supply to the 3 major forces in about 2 months. The contracts have been signed, and the money will be in our hands during this period. The 3 major forces will temporarily order 50 million sets of bubble guns for each force. Lin Xian nodded. When the time comes, let the workers rest for 2 days. Also pay them more. It must be much higher than other factories. Don't worry. Our factory's treatment of the workers is 150% higher than other factories of the same level. I don't know how many people want to work here. Lin Xian nodded. They didn't lack money. They just wanted to do better. So what if they had to spend more money? During this time, we've already renovated physical stores in Linnan City, Changshui City, Hujiang City, and 8 other cities. There's a total of 26 stores. It's estimated that the medicine and bubble guns can all be sold in those cities in 2 months. Lin Ye said. Okay. They must expand not just in Linnan City. This wasn't a problem. Although they were developing fast, if they didn't, they could only sell their products through other channels. For example, other families' trade channels. Why did they have to do this? Couldn't they sell in their own stores? So this was inevitable. Go to sleep. Why aren't you girls sleeping? Lin Xian glanced at them. Lin Ye was playing with Dragoni. Okay, I'm going to sleep. The next day, Lin Xian didn't do anything else. He played with Lu Yufan and Yi Yi for the whole day. Their family moved to Linnan City. They wouldn't go anywhere else for the new year. Lin Xian was also very curious. Why hasn't Yi Yi and Xiao Runing's mission been triggered yet? Lin Xian felt that if the mission was triggered, not to mention Xiao Runing, Yi Yi would be easy to take down. But they must have the qualifications to trigger the mission. Yi Yi and Lu Yufan started the teasing mission together. But only Lu Yufan started the confession mission. Lin Xian felt that they should wait for an opportunity. However, Lin Xian didn't take advantage of Lu Yufan. At most they kissed. Lin Xian felt that it was a little immoral. If you were a little older, in your 20s, it would be fine. But Lin Xian was just an adult. But now Lin Xian's attention was more focused on Xiao Xinyue. After sending Lu Yufan and Yi Yi home, Lin Xian sent a message to Xiao Xinyue. Xiao Xinyue's reply was almost instantaneous. Her reply made Lin Xian extremely uncomfortable. She was going home tomorrow. Chapter 779. Lin Xian originally wanted to have a good date with her before the new year to cultivate their relationship. But now she had to go home. Are you coming back or not? Lin Xian asked. He was afraid that he might not come back to this city after going home. Yes, I'll come back after the new year. Xiao Xinyue replied Lin Xian. Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. Then he could only wait for her to come back. At this moment Xiao Runing was very annoyed. Her family had told her that if she didn't bring a boyfriend home this year, she wouldn't be able to go back. She was only 26 years old. In an era of cultivation, if you reached the celestial venerable realm in your 20s, you might look like you were in your 20s when you were 100 years old. You could live for 400 or 500 years. Therefore, for some girls, finding a boyfriend was even less of a hurry because they wouldn't age. For some outstanding girls, finding a boyfriend was even less of a hurry. They wouldn't deliberately look for a boyfriend. There were countless suitors, but they would only find the one they liked. Ling Ying, Han Chuxue, Morong Qing, Xiao Runing, and so on were all like this. But Xiao Runing's parents really wanted to hold a grandson, although their daughter was very outstanding. But even they thought that it would be fine if she brought a man back. A man would be fine. This made Xiao Runing helpless. Xiao Xinyue would go back tomorrow, because the new year was the day after tomorrow. It would take at least an entire day for them to go home. But what about a boyfriend? Although she could go home without a boyfriend, she would probably be annoyed to death at home. After thinking about it for a long time, she could only think of one way. That was to find a fake boyfriend and go home first to fool her parents. Of course, this boyfriend she thought of was Lin Xian, that stinky hooligan. She held her phone and paced back and forth in the house, deciding whether to call or not. This lasted for half an hour. Finally, She picked up the phone and dialed Lin Xian's number. Hey, my dear Xiao Ningning. Did you miss me? Lin Xian hung up the phone with Xiao Runing half an hour later. This was also to cultivate their relationship. Not long after hanging up, he received a call from Xiao Runing. No, it's just there's something I need your help with. Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. This Xiao Runing still had something she needed his help with? Feel free to bring it up. Isn't my dear Xiao Ningning's business my business? Lin Xian grinned. Be serious. On the other side, Xiao Runing blushed slightly. All right. Say it. If you want me to warm your bed, I'll go right away. Xiao Runing. It's like this. She ignored Lin Xian's words and said, Do you have time after the new year? Lin Xian frowned. He really didn't have much time after the new year, because he would have to go to Tiandu to visit the Ling and Han families. I probably don't have much time after the new year. But at most, I'll be busy for 3 days after New Year's Eve. 3 days should be enough for this trip to Tiandu. Xiao Runing thought about it. This time, she might have to stay at home for more than a week, so Lin Xian's words weren't much. At least she had time. Then, can you come to my house when the time comes? Warm your bed. Xiao Runing. Warm your head. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes and said, If you're free, pretend to be my boyfriend and come to my house. Do you have time? Lin Xian. Wow. He was really busy this New Year's business this year. 3 houses. And no, forget it if you don't have time. Xiao Runing heard Lin Xian's silence, and then said a few words. Yes, there definitely is. Lin Xian grinned. This kind of thing was definitely helpful. This was a rare opportunity to improve his relationship with Xiao Runing. Then will you help me? Of course. Lin Xian nodded. Xiao Runing breathed a sigh of relief. This Lin Xian still came in handy at crucial times. Okay, then come over when you have time. Where are you going? You haven't told me the location. How about this? I'll go to your house. We have to talk about this in detail. It won't be good if you and Auntie wait for too long on the road, Lin Xian said. Xiao Runing then nodded. Okay, it's dinner time. Come over, I'll make some dinner. Lin Xian revealed a smirk. This Xiao Runing still didn't know that she had invited a wolf into her house. Okay, then I'll go over. Lin Xian then hung up the phone. He knew that Xiao Runing was at her house tonight, not with Xiao Xinyue. If 2 people who had already flirted with each other several times were alone in a room, what would happen? Lin Xian wasn't sure what would happen, but he was sure that something would happen. Maybe he wouldn't have to go home tonight. The moment Xiao Runing told Lin Xian about this matter, Lin Xian had already thought of a way to take advantage of her. Maybe this was the top pervert. Xiao Runing put down the phone, then couldn't help but smile a little. It was happiness from the bottom of her heart. It was a feeling of relief. As long as Lin Xian was willing to help, there shouldn't be too much of a problem. Then she would be able to convince her parents. Although she could hide for a while, but not forever, she wanted to have a good new year. She didn't want her parents to nag her incessantly. Little did she know that Lin Xian, that stinky pervert, was already here with bad intentions. Lin Xian bought another 2 pounds of pig head meat on the way. Dong dong dong. After knocking on the door, Xiao Runing heard the sound of slippers running inside the house. Then she opened the door. Coming quickly. The heater was turned on in the room. It was so warm that it was yuppie. The house was beautiful and clean, and the sofa was big. The only thing missing was a man. Take a seat first. I'm almost done cooking. Xiao Runing threw a bottle of water to Lin Xian and ran into the kitchen. Lin Xian then wandered around her house. It was said that a girl's personality could be seen by looking at her house. Xiao Runing's house was decorated quite simply. It was very warm and homely. Her room didn't have any pink wallpaper, but the bed must be very soft and comfortable. There were more books in the room. After all, she was a teacher. She must know more than most people. Xiao Runing walked out of the kitchen with soup and saw that bastard Lin Xian in her room. Then she quickly ran over. Come out quickly. A man like you entering a girl's room without her permission. Shameless. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian, then pulled him out and closed the door to her room. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey To catch the most captivating stories,